And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
Now we're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Ayo and hello everybody, for it is Wednesday, a wonderfully whacked out, wondrous Wednesday. It is me, your weird Uncle Lee, and welcome everybody to Roll for Hero Season 2, baby. The segment of our shows in which we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we are going to be drawing today. I am excited. Of course, it's me, your cracked out, weird, whacked out uncle. And with me today is my beautifully bald-headed, big-bearded co-star. You know him. You will love him. He is the biggest fish in the smallest of ponds in indie comic, Mr. Fish.
Oh, man, that's a good one. I appreciate that. I was so focused trying to keep up with all the comments coming in all of a sudden.
Let's just show it on the screen, just to kind of give you a little bit of a break here, man. Give yourself some time.
I forgot all about being able to do that.
Exactly.
So there we go.
There we are. Look at all of our beautiful nieces and nephews and everyone else in between. How you doing? It is season 2 of Roll for Hero. I'm super stoked, super excited. I love Wednesdays so much.
He's not riled up at all.
Yeah, for real. I'm just like, it's like Hulk raging over here, but like with adrenaline. Exactly. I'm just so hyped up. I cannot wait to see what the heck we're going to be creating. What has been happening? What has been going on, Mr. Fish? What has been going on your side of life? What's going on your side of the pond over here, man?
Man, I have been packing the fool out of boxes. I had to build a box just to hold all the comics that I signed and bagged and boarded for the last Alice campaign. It was like over 2 feet thick of books that I signed and bagged and boarded, had ready to go. And I spent the weekend getting everything packed up and shipped out. I just got back this morning from dropping off the last of the international orders and some orders that ended up going through UPS because, strangely, for some reason, a couple of boxes, I had 2 boxes that were within like an inch of each other in size, weighed the exact same amount. One was $6 cheaper on UPS. One was $4 cheaper going through the post office. Right. That's just freaking weird. But, and in a couple of places overseas, like one to Singapore, was cheaper through UPS. So I had to go to 2 different places this time. But everything is shipped out. I got to get the files together for the digital backers. So that stuff should go out tonight. And I'm super excited to have that one done. I'm super excited for issue 4 is going to be coming in February. That's going to be launching in February. So now the GoMrFish.com link will take you to the pre-launch page for issue 4. So for all of our nieces and nephews out there in the comments, if you want to go check it out, GoMrFish.com, GoMrFish.
And
we'll take you right there to sign up for the pre-launch
page. Come on, guys.
I'm telling you. That's a mighty nice looking set of books right there. I got one to match it.
Look at that. I get to flex this now. I got Alice House of Wonderland. What do you got? Oh, Amazing Fantasy 15 edition? That's pretty.
It came out so nice too. Like it's a beautiful book. I like to kill TS when I read in the script and it said,
person? Bro, that's insane. Like
drawn in the original style of like Alice Lost in Wonderland, and I was like, boy, you don't know what you just wrote in that script. And then there's big awesome epic pages with Captain Hook and Alice and so much drama. TS is the king of a good double page spread. He's the king of a great page turn. Lots of excitement. Lots of people get killed. We get our first look at the Emerald City. It is so cool, man. There's so much action, adventure. It's sad. It's bloody. It's terrifying. There's wait, new monsters. No, wait, no, there's not. You got to buy it if you want to see more.
And if you guys want to see what lies within the confines of these books, you guys know where to go. Go to MrFish.com and go get yourself Alice Lost in Wonderland issues number uno, dos to numero trace. And on top of that, get yourself some Green Zone, the Mighty Caw, the Cro-Magnon, and of course, T-Man and Hyper Strike. Total free promo there. You're welcome. Anyways, outside of that, it has been a blast and a half. I'm so glad, first of all, to acquire these. And not only that, I mean, I may or may not be partaking in assisting Mr. Fish on doing some vocal adjacent works, particularly on one strange feline. But that's nice.
He's a very interesting character. I think you'd be an awesome fit for in there.
Oh yeah, actually I had to buy these now just so that I had like the proper visualizations to be like, what does Cheshire Cat in Alice Lost in Wonderland sound like?
Oh yeah, because this is a different Cheshire Cat than you've ever seen before. This is like an interdimensional ghost yokai cat snake demon thing, and like he's so pretty and friendly when he's in front of her, and he's so vicious and terrifying when he's behind her back. I just love him. To answer Commander Comics' question, before he gets down too far, yes, you absolutely can join in the challenge and draw the characters. And if you share it on social media with hashtag Roll4Hero, then we'll be able to see it and we will share the art on the show. So yes, absolutely. Take part, share it.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Fish. I'm sorry for cutting you off there.
Oh, no, man. No problem.
But listen, the whole point of this show of Roll for Hero, number one, we're just supposed to have fun. All right, you're with your two weird unks having a blast, rolling dice, drawing up some cracked out characters that I thought I would never draw. Do you think I was going to draw a cougar themed supervillainess? You think I was going to draw bird sisters from a different planet? You think I was going to draw an alien in a steampunk world? Absolutely not. And if you guys want to know what we're going to be talking about, go check out our other Roll for Hero streams after this one. Anyways, so outside of that, I am going to just state that on my side of things, I think I'm officially not caught up, but I think like because I put my pages out on a scheduled limit with the Unbeatables, and I believe right now that the most current page of the Unbeatables is like up there. So now I'm like officially caught up. So now I have to now be like, I gotta start drawing up those pages. But then I'm also now in the works of, again, I'm breaking one of the 10 commandments of comic creation, of working on something else. But it's basically like my knockoff Spider-Man, not the actual ones based on my videos. It's actually a character by the name of Grub, who has Grub-based abilities and powers. But I'm kind of taking all the public domain, like characters that I made thus far, and I'm going to see if I could try to put it into this. So something like that is in the works right now. I can't wait to see where this goes. But anyways, Mr. Fish, I think we have been yapping for far too long. We've been yapping for 8 minutes and soon to be 40 seconds. I believe it is time for us to begin what we need to begin. It is time for us to take the dice. So before we continue on, nieces, nephews, those in between, listen to me, your weird Uncle E. I need you to grab your dice, grab your writing utensil of any kind, and get a surface in which you can draw on and follow along the journey as we shall officially roll.
All right, this time around, we're going to have your Uncle E rolling for us. Now, we did talk about last time on the show, on last season, we talked about doing one overarching setting for this season. So like all the characters this season would fit into one world. So this time around, we are going to, let me pull it up. We are going to roll for a setting, and me and Uncle E are both going to roll for a setting. Feel free to roll for your own setting for your character this time. But we're both going to roll for a setting, and then we're going to let you guys sound off in the comments, and you guys are going to pick what all of our characters are going to fit in for the next 12 episodes. Well, counting this episode. So for the next 12 episodes of this season, They're all going to fit into one of these worlds. So you guys get to pick this time. It could be steampunk, like Dragon Gaming's saying, or it could be, who knows? I don't know. There's probably something on there that we haven't done. We haven't done oceanic yet, so that would be a new one.
Very like piratey naval captain based, maybe even creating sea creatures beyond one's comprehension. So here's also, before we continue, in terms of dice, make sure you can grab yourself some classic tabletop RPG, or not RPG, just classic tabletop dice. Just two of these, run of the mill dice, just because I know that most people tend to have these kind of dice on hand. So make sure to snag yourself some of those. But not only that, so here are the setting choices that we have, and that will dictate this entire season of Roll for a Hero. We have cyberpunk, which in my opinion, we've developed a lot more characters for than we can ever imagine. We have steampunk, which is equal to cyberpunk in our situation. We have fantasy. Basically, think like your elves and dwarves, or maybe even other cracked out fantasy species and races that you can smack into this weird abomination of your imagination. Then we have urban fantasy, basically like your next door neighbor is like an elf kind of a situation. And, it turns out when you go to the DMV, it's run by trolls. We have sci-fi, the classic laser guns and shooting spaceships
outer
and everything.
Space, aliens. That's my sweet spot. I love that stuff.
Yeah, no, same here. Honestly, I haven't really done much of that, but if it was, I go for classic retro stuff. Anyways, then we have urban/modern, basically what we live in today.
In this world here, this kind of stuff.
And
Commander Comet got oceanic. That's cool.
I'm jealous. And you know what? Here's a challenge for those that are actually rolling on your own. The next time y'all end up, like say that y'all tune in for next episode, try to stick to your setting's overall theme. So if you rolled,
that would be a fun challenge.
So what's it called? We got Commander Comics who rolled oceanic. All right. Mm-hmm. I challenge you to do nothing but roll for the characters of nothing but like oceanic characters set in your oceanic setting. You're going to create.
You've got the freedom to do what you want, but it's a challenge. If you got what it takes to take on the challenge, and because that's the thing that scares me the most about this whole aspect for this season is getting put into some place where I'm not comfortable. I'm not used to doing things. Like if I get to do sci-fi or I got to do like cyberpunk or something like that, that's stuff that I know pretty well. I can have a whole lot of fun in that. But like say if we got like a Western thing or the Gothic or something like that's more out of my comfort zone a little bit, and that scares me. But that's like I was telling Esteban earlier today, pressure makes diamonds. Like getting out of your comfort zone is part of why we roll up this random stuff to challenge ourselves. So I think it's
not only that
this season.
And Mr. Fish is correct, but not only that, but also it challenges our creativity. There are things that I have drawn on this show that I never would have thought I would have drawn in a million years because I became so attuned to drawing guys in tights or in armor or in anything else of that kind of caliber. So anyways, we have cyberpunk, we got steampunk, we got fantasy, we got urban fantasy, we got what's it called? We got not urban fantasy. We got sci-fi, urban/modern, basically what we live in today. We have diesel punk, which is kind of like steampunk, but instead of like steam powered machines, it's all diesel powered machines. Think like 1950s, like when they acquired the fueling stuff of that nature. We have rural, basically like out in the fields kind of a situation, like you're in the middle of bum yucking nowhere in Nebraska, if I can imagine. I don't know if you're from Nebraska. I'm so sorry. Then we have urban sci-fi, basically modern day, but a little bit more on the technical advancements here and there. Then we have Gothic. Think Gotham City, but probably different. Who knows? And of course, oceanic. Basically like islands and oceans, pirates, sea monsters, something of that kind of caliber. Again, the whole point is that these lists are supposed to be very, very generic so y'all can just indulge in your wildest fantasies and try to create something within the confines of these settings. So, Mr. Fish, you roll first, and you choose and you roll up your first setting, and I will be rolling with, by the way, a brand new dice tower that I have built out of, nothing but Lego, given how I was like, I got to treat myself for season 2. All righty, everybody, we begin the first roll of the show. All right, hold on. Off my dice tower. I gotta do a bit of that action here.
I gotta fix this dice tower. It keeps getting stuck there. I got 8, which is Diesel Punk, which would be fun.
Okay,
I
I could still dive into like retro sci-fi-ish type of stuff. We that can work. That can work. Hold on, let me show off my little things over here. I just want to show off my dice tower. Look at that, beaut. Hey.
Look at that baby there.
And I rolled not seven. I rolled a 6.
Which is sci-fi, which is another one of my favorites. So,
alrighty, everybody. Now we have y'all to dictate what we do next.
Yeah. So which one is it going to be? Is it going to be sci-fi or is it going to be Diesel Punk? Yeah, the video games idea is a fun idea. Like we've talked about eventually doing like settings like what if the characters were fit into a particular movie franchise or cartoon franchise or a video game franchise. R.S. Shepard votes sci-fi. Jordan votes sci-fi.
We got two sci-fi.
Wonder what Katie's going to come in with. Diesel says Deadpool. Throw in a wrench in the works. Or a spanner, depending on what side of the pond you're on.
Exactly. All right.
We got 2-1.
We got 2-1. Oh, 2 for 2.
We've got an even split. Benjamin coming in with Diesel Punk.
Oh, we got sci-fi. We got Diesel Punk. This is interesting.
Commander Comic
2 on Diesel Punk. 3 for 2 on Diesel Punk.
It looks like we've got a new lead coming in here with Diesel Punk.
Commander Comic, you are risking it all here. By the way, I saw your very first comment. How dare you have a girlfriend and then just, decide to start watching our show? Where are your priorities, man?
Putting a girlfriend over the show. Come on now, Commander Comic.
For real. Anyways, congrats though. Anyways, but we got Diesel Punk. So was it like 2 sci-fi? We got 3 Diesel Punk. And then we got another sci-fi to an extent, and it looks like we're a little bit more.
We're even Steven right now.
Oh, even Steven. Oh,
come on, Katie Rooston. Where are you at? You need to drop a comment. Let us know what you say.
Oh, this is interesting.
Oh, we got another sci-fi. Okay.
We got 2 sci-fis. Ooh.
Oh, sci-fi has just creeped into the wind now. Let's go ahead and roll up the next one while they're voting on that, and see what our origin is going to be. Are you going to roll for this one?
You know what? Yes, I'm going to roll for this, and also because I still want to show off my very awesome dice tower that I totally didn't go to Lego, not the Lego Land, but the Lego store at Disney Springs. Totally didn't acquire all the parts needed and necessary to create this awesome dice tower. Not at all. Not in the slightest.
Wouldn't have devoted all that time to that. No.
What? We're sorry. It's like, what? I'm sorry. We're long distance, so I was busy a bit.
You. Katie says the internet's being terrible. Think the satellites are being hit by a solar flare. So now I keep seeing a few seconds of your video, and then it pauses for a while. All right, Katie, let us know. Is it going to be Diesel Punk World this season, or is it going to be sci-fi? What's your vote?
Then. I'm officially rolling up, and we got 7.
7. That is
a villain gave me something.
Powers.
Oh no, I need a book. I need to write my ideas down. Because I totally know what we're doing. Because we're totally prepared here on Roll for Hero, even for season 2. Oh, come on, man. How are you not prepared for
Commander Comic got number 4, a cyborg android.
Man,
see, I don't get enough like androids and stuff. I love drawing a cyborg, especially if I only have to draw him once. Then I can really go nuts with it.
That's true. Anyways.
All right, now we're going to roll for our power types and see how many powers we get.
All right. Let me get some different dice along the way. Let's get the classic black and white. Rolled a 5.
Ooh, 5. That is 2 minor powers. All right. So for those of you who might have gotten a bigger roll than that, here's the sheet of major powers that you can roll on with things like invulnerability, super strength, super speed, elemental control, animal powers and abilities, shapeshifting, transform matter, telekinesis, immortality, healing factor, and technomancy and armor mastery. And of course, these are just starting places. You can go any direction you want with those. Like elemental control doesn't have to be all of the elements. It could be one particular one, like ice for Iceman, or something like that. Super strength could be like having low level super strength, like say Captain America, or it could be the Incredible Hulk. It could be whatever you want to do with that. It's just giving you a starting place to jump off with for your creativity. Oh, Deadpool coming in with 3 major powers. He's coming
Ooh,
in.
look at that. We got ourselves a macho hero over here. Now, I can't tell if he's doing it in a diesel punk or in a sci-fi setting.
He's going to be
which
coming in all
reminds me,
Goku.
actually, Mr. Fish, based off of the amount of votes here, what do you think was the more winning factor here, sci-fi or diesel punk?
Last check, it was sci-fi. Let me go back and look in the comments themselves to be scroll all the way down. Let's see.
Ooh,
1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got 2 more for sci-fi than we do diesel punk right now. So,
well,
all right,
Mr.
now
Fish,
the minor powers.
I like to believe that we are officially heading off to the stars as we are now within the confines of a sci-fi setting.
Which, that's fun. That's my wheelhouse. I love that stuff. Telekinesis, immortality, and transform matter. All right, baby. You working with the powers now. All right. Roll us up our 2 minor powers.
Alrighty then. We're rolling, and down they go. What we'll get, we'll never know. Got number 4, which is energy projection.
Okay. I like that one. Energy projection.
Okay. Now, let me actually get 2 different ones over here, so then that way we can diversify a little bit. This time I got some teal and black dice over here. Down, and they will go. What we'll get, we will soon know. And that is going to be a numero ocho, which is going to be, I meant to say size
change.
Because, I'm
going to change my side. Instead of the mac and cheese, I think I'm going to go with the mashed potatoes. So I think I'm.
Dang, that's a hardcore side change there, man. I'll tell you what.
Okay, that's pretty cool, though. Size changing and energy projection, that could go a lot of different directions and makes for some cool stuff.
You know what the crazy part is, though, is that I think these were I kid you not. If I am wrong, then I'm wrong. But I believe this is almost the same power set that I rolled for the Bird Sister characters of Birds of a Feather.
I was going to say, it sounds familiar.
That's crazy. That is actually crazy, because I figured as much that I would be like, I even remember saying in the first episode that there's always like a 1 in 10 chance that you'll basically be either rolling something like that. And I think I basically did the 1 in 10 chance that I would re-roll the same powers again.
But that's cool, though, because you can do completely different stuff with it this time. And that's the thing I like about these prompts is they're general enough that we can do whatever we want. Like energy projection could be shooting lasers out of your eyes like Cyclops, or it could be, creating things out of energy like Green Lantern, or it could be shooting fire, out of your hands,
or like Goku shooting, those Kamehameha waves.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what optional power modifiers we get this time.
Oh, those are some fun ones. Alrighty then, we got powers that come from a suit. We got powers coming from an artifact, powers that come from a large external device, little control of our powers, weakness to a particular item, powers only activate by an oath, a charm, etc. Powers have limits, powers only work at night/daytime, Powers activate by a specific food. Powers come from a ghost, symbiote, familiar, etc. Limited powers.
The more
Limited
it's used, the
power.
faster.
The more that is used, the faster it burns out. All right. Alrighty then. This is a final roll until further notice. Now, this is optional. And that is going to be 2 number 3s, because that is going to be a number 6, which is a weakness to an item.
Okay, so we've got a weakness to some item, like the color yellow for Green Lantern or
Kryptonite for Superman.
I almost said Santa Claus.
His next
Curse you that children won't have toys because you got me with kryptonite, Luther.
A 6 for you, which is exactly the same that we got. My hero has little control of their powers. Ooh, that is some risky stuff.
I love that one.
That one's always fun.
I love that one.
Because especially like if you ever know how to write it correctly. Oh my god, if you know how to write that scene correctly, that is going to be one of the most dramatic aspects of your character, and also like it will have one of the most impactful moments within like your character's story arc and whatnot. And of course, we have the motivation, the reason as to why your character does what they do. And like, for instance, Batman's motivation is the fact that his parents got shot and he doesn't want anyone else's parents getting shot. And he wants to make sure that the city of Gotham is safe. Is he doing a good job? That's debatable. Superman just wants to do good. Spider-Man just wants to make sure that nobody else loses their Uncle Ben. So on, so forth. You get the gist of how it goes. And we got a numero 7, which is Adventure Seeker.
Okay.
I rolled with the same character again. Only difference being is that my optional modifier was that my powers work more like in the daytime or whatever.
Yeah, and we were like the last of an ancient race that got our powers from that instead of being a supervillain gave us powers. So, it's got difference, but again, you can make so many different things out of that. So, all right, there we go. That gives us.
Alrighty, everybody. So now we have officially rolled up our characters, and now it is time for us to officially draw our characters. This is usually the part where we have to try to keep up with the entertainment because we're going to be honing in and focusing on drawing people, characters, thingamathings, everything else in between. Am I using this entire live facade to compensate for the fact that I'm going to be just silent majority of the time? Who knows?
You be silent. I doubt that very much.
I'm Hispanic. We can't.
It's in the blood.
Alrighty. What do we got? Weakness to wood, like the Golden Age Green Lantern. Ooh, that's some. I don't know. That's tough, man. Try fighting off an entire Viking army that had a wooden castle. He'd be down like no tomorrow. This is not an Apple Pencil. This is an actual pencil, and I need to use my Apple one because that's what works with my iPad. Actually, I remembered a little something.
Okay,
this is a bit of a sneak potentially.
Which way do I want to go with the size changing?
Hold on, let me just do this real quick because I can.
And we're in a sci-fi world too. So,
It's literally looking me right in the face. Well, a supervillain gave us something. So this is a sci-fi world. Right now, what kind of sci-fi are we living in? Are we living in one where aliens exist, or is it just higher technology?
I'm thinking like full-on space adventure kind of sci-fi is what's in my mind when I'm thinking. That's the direction I'm kind of leaning towards right now.
Like Lost in Space, going on different planets.
Yeah, Lost in Space, Space Ghost, the Herculoids. Like, it could just be anything. It could be, anything could be happening out there on some world, whether it's the Green Lanterns in outer space or, just anything. I love the good old days of sci-fi. that's like, I love reading sci-fi from like the 50s and 60s and stuff, when you could do anything, when stuff hadn't gotten so grounded and we didn't know so much and everybody didn't know so much about outer space and other planets, and you could just like drive through outer space in your rocket ship and roll down your window and wave to the ghosts of Neptune as you drove by and stuff, and not worry about decompression and all that stuff, because we didn't know about all this thing. Like, I love how open and wild you could get with your ideas in sci-fi back then. And that seems so silly sometimes now, but I love how open the imagination was back then and how far you could
A
go with
weird,
things.
I think the best quote to go with this, I don't fully remember the quote, but I was in a weird phase of watching the classic Tick cartoons,
Oh yeah.
and there was like, science used to work on a broad stroke. Now everything has to be molecule by molecule. Because there was this invention that basically can like summon or create anything you wanted if you had it on your head or whatever. But nowadays technology became so advanced that we start knowing how things work. And back in, because again, technology caught up and it advanced further than what we could imagine. Actually, funnily enough, we had a whole road trip to Ohio for the Thanksgiving weekend and whatnot, and my dad kind of mentioned that, and I was trying to watch Lost in Space, and then I figured out a whole show of what's it called, Lost World. That was a whole other show, and then some, getting to see what my dad got to watch when he was a kid. Okay. Now, am I cheating a little bit? Yeah, I am, totally. But you know what? It gets me a bit of a heads up as to getting somewhere. Get me somewhere here. Okay, so sci-fi, right? So a super villain. Now, where would this be set then? Well, this is your whole thing. You got to do your thing. I got to do my thing.
Yeah.
Let me see. Your hero slept with a female supervillain, and she gave him an alien STD that gives him powers. Well then, gotta love those methods of sci-fi.
Those could be some unfortunate size changing abilities.
First episode of season 2 of Roll for Hero, everybody. You gotta love it.
I swear it's my ex-girlfriend's fault. It's not normally like that.
Oh, wait, supervillain tried to kill you with a weapon, but instead it gave you superpowers.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Ooh.
That's a really great idea. I love that.
Ooh, Jordan, I might steal
like that
okay.
one.
I like that too. How dare you come up with such amazing ideas? This is why I love this
use
show.
their subatomic death shrink ray to like shrink you into nothingness, and it gave you size changing abilities or whatever. I dig that.
Okay, but like narratively speaking, right? Because again,
an android's like Vision Comic Commander. It's an artificial being that looks very human, whereas a cyborg is like a person with mechanical enhancements, and a robot is an artificial being that's designed to like do a job or something, but not necessarily look human. An android is like to be an artificial person. The way
cyborgs have cybernetics. Androids are trying to be Andy. There you go.
But yeah, Vision is a real good example. All right, let's see.
Ooh, that's a good one there. That's a good one there. Oh, man, trying to come up with something on the fly is always so hard. Because I also want to try to keep in time frame here.
Yeah, because we've always been so good about sticking to a regular time. And
this do be true.
Not going like 3.5 hours sometimes. And
listen, the shortest episode I think we've ever done for Roll for Hero, I think, has only been at best less than 2 hours. It was like 1 hour and 57 minutes or whatever. That's the shortest we've ever done Roll for Hero.
And I remember thinking when I was talking to my wife about it, before we started, and she's like, "Well, how long is it going to go?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't think it's going to go more than an hour, probably. I mean, maybe an hour and a half from time to time." And we always 2 hours at least.
3 if we start getting yappish.
Yeah. My son was like, "Hey, you got a show tonight?" And I was like, "Well, I got my show this afternoon, which may well go to 5 o'clock." But other than that,
Man, we gotta get Bear in here at some point. He would be awesome to have on the
oh
show.
yeah,
But that's if he
we got to
wants
get
to.
Bear back on sometime. My only real concern is he's moved back into the house now, and I'm worried about our internet being able to handle both of us streaming and showing our laptops and stuff at the same time. Is my only real concern because we live out in the country, and
Mm,
country internet is
really important at that time.
known for its heavy bandwidth,
Hmm.
quick speeds.
Exactly. Energy projection, size change. Okay. In a sci-fi society. I'm really trying to figure out how this would even look. So lost right now.
We pushing old Uncle E out of his comfort zone.
I think it's because I've never done sci-fi like this before or anything like that. Because usually, again, if the closest thing I'll get to sci-fi, I think is like, yeah, I'll draw an alien here and there, but I don't think I've ever done like, okay, you know what? I take that back. Because I have worked on the pages for Galactic Delivery Dudes. So I have worked on those, but that's like wacky postmodern sci-fi. So not really like a, man, I'm really trying to think how.
Which, I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be. I mean, we haven't created the whole world yet. We're in the process of doing it now. So it could be silly. I mean, like the Jetsons is sci-fi. It's
This is
silly,
true.
but it's sci-fi. And like I said, at the same time, things like Space Ghost and stuff are sci-fi, even though they're very superhero-y and funny and and goofy. Um, there's so many versions of what constitutes sci-fi. Like I have a story that I really want to work on, and I was honestly going to start on before I had a long talk with TS, and he was like, "Well, what's the story you really want to be telling more than anything? Just tell that one." I was like, "Well, that would be Alice Lost in Wonderland, which you can sign up for the pre-launch page now. Go MrFish.com for issue 4." But he, he talked me into focusing on one thing, but I was fixing to start on Space Ape, which is, like an interstellar space ghost like type of character. It's a big sentient green gorilla in a mask flying in a fancy like 50s looking rocket ship through outer space, and has like this giant sexy single-celled organism as his female mechanic, and has this like multi-armed death machine as his sidekick that is a former like Murderbot 5000 that he reprogrammed to be, his heroing assistant. So his responses are always things like, kill them and slay them in front of the eyes of their children. But, he can't actually hurt anybody and is very frustrated by that fact.
So hence why he would even have to say all those things to compensate. It's like,
yeah,
it's like, what do you want? The souls of the innocent. A bagel. No, 2 bagels. And for those that got the reference, thank you. Okay. Sci-fi.
a superhero music galactic DJ. Yeah, see, there you go.
I was also going to say, speaking of Alice Lost in Wonderland too, because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it to you, and I probably have in like a conversation, on or off the show. But my little sister, my first little sister, she actually wrote and acted in a school play she did in, I think it was middle school.
Oh,
And
yeah?
I think it was called Finding Alice in the Land of Oz. So they took the Alice in Wonderland, they took the Wizard of Oz, and then they tried combining it and did this whole little like musical show of whatever it
Mhm.
was, which was really interesting. I've yet to. I should probably ask her like the more detailed aspects of that, just so I get like better intel on how she did it. But yeah, that was very interesting. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting. So it turns out my little sister got to touch the public domain stuff before I ever could. Am I jealous? Potentially.
It's family tradition.
At this point, I wouldn't be shocked if it is. Okay, I feel like I'm getting somewhere to where I want to be.
All right. Got a basic form here now. And I'm thinking, personally, I haven't seen Predator's Badland, Rodrigo. I'd like to see it, but I won't get to see it probably until it comes out on streaming because I'm working too much all the time to be able to stop and go watch movies. I did get to go see Wicked for Good because the whole family wanted to go see that when everybody was down for Thanksgiving, and so I got to go see that. But that's probably the only movie I'll get to go out and see for till next year, probably.
Interesting. I think that could work. I'm trying to go for that. I'm trying to go for that retro space kind of vibe with this character.
That's kind of the direction I'm leaning, and I'm thinking if, like we were saying with the supervillain, like hitting you with a ray or something, I really like that idea. So I'm thinking something like, for mine, I'm thinking like Space Corps, like Space Cop Cadet or something, out on a mission somewhere and stumbled across a mad scientist working on his, cosmic shrinking death ray or whatever, and got hit by it and given superpowers. So I'm thinking along that line of like, what would somebody like that be wearing as they're zooming through outer space and to save the day and whatnot.
Okay,
because I'm thinking over like right as she's getting hit with this thing. That's what I'm envisioning.
Oh, okay. Kind of remember I had this idea, and I think it could work with this character. I had this idea called Jupiter Jack. Very like the name was very 60s sounding. It's like, oh, look out, it's Jupiter Jack. He was like this roguish, like think Star-Lord from the MCU kind of a thing, where he's like a gunslinger from the West, but it's from the western sector of the galaxy or something like that. But this guy has size change. Right? Maybe my character in particular gets shot by a beam that was supposed to expand or do something different, or something along the lines of like, this is my expansion ray, or my like the ray that's supposed to blow something up or whatever. But it turns out it was a different kind of blowing up, because now it blew up the character into changing his size, maybe due to a potential cosmic storm or whatever. With the rays that are hitting him, it managed to help him survive. And now he's able to automatically change his size and his overall physique and project energy from that. Shoot, really gotta try to make this work.
I think that sounded cool.
Kind of want to design him if he was one of those classic pulp styled sci-fi adventurers.
Yeah, like I can't remember if it was Dadpool or R.S. Shepherd that was talking about like the Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and stuff like that. And that I love that kind of stuff where you can just have a evil space king like Ming the Merciless, just out there making death rays and sending the lion men to attack, and just anything could happen. And you could have just a human football player out there in outer space flying rocket ships and saving the day, and you know Adam Strange just like being a dude that gets teleported to another planet, and then all of a sudden he's got rocket packs and he's this, you know, super dude flying around, saving the day, going on adventures, wooing alien princess chicken. It's just I love that stuff, man. I got a sweet spot for that.
Yeah, because it's just fun, simple, to the point. Actually, that's what
Mhm.
when diving into pulp stories and like when I was trying to figure out like what the heck is pulp, not Pulp Fiction, the movie, but like what is like the actual genre of pulp stories. They're basically kind of like short stories that are just condensed down, something super simple. You got a hero, there's a villain or whatever it is that they're trying to encounter. They face it. Story's done. Have a good day. Move on to the next story,
Mhm.
which is like very
And
simple.
maybe you get to go back and play in that world again. Maybe not. It depends on if it sells.
Pretty
But it's just
much.
throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. And I love the fun and creativity of that realm. That's so much fun to me. Uh, R. Shepard says, call your character Crash McAllister Fish, but he can't completely control his size, altering powers. Sometimes he farts or laughs and accidentally shifts size. Dragon Gaming says, I see your sci-fi settings as like a canvas that you can wild out with your imagination. Absolutely. Benjamin says, I really screwed myself with this by getting gothic because I'm just thinking of a Victorian era and women in that area from images I saw just wear dresses. But they weren't
Actually,
very complex dresses.
that is true.
So,
But think of Gothic in a different way. Think about Gotham from Batman. It's a very
yeah, I
Gothic
mean, there's
city.
the whole like gothic aesthetic that's not necessarily just in the 1800s, but like has that dark, creepy, overbuilt, feel, you know, the big old architecture, and like,
The gargoyles.
yeah, I mean, it could have that kind of vibe without necessarily being a period piece. Or, you know, much like I always think about like technically Star Trek is a military drama, the first one. Like it's a military ship with military crew and captains and lower ranks and stuff going out on this mission. But the way you make it not the way you make it a western and not just a military drama is they don't follow the rules of that. Like if it was really a military drama, more like the later seasons, the captain wouldn't be going on every away mission. That's foolish. You wouldn't put your leader out on every time you send a dinghy out from the ship to go exploring. You would send underlings to go do that stuff. You would send the low guys on the totem pole to go do that stuff. You wouldn't send your like head of the science department and your head doctor out on these missions. And but to get around that, make it interesting, you don't have to act that way. So, like, what if you had a woman per se, in the 1800s that was throwing off, the shackles of the oppressive, male overlords, and wore pants and a smart jacket, and studied science and went on adventures, and you could do
Freed the
whatever.
slaves.
Yeah, you could literally. I mean, she could be a pirate and go around the world.
A Gothic pirate.
Absolutely.
Whole new aesthetic there. Sometimes it doesn't just have to be a setting, because I will say sometimes our settings could also just be a different type of like, I guess a thematic style overall. Like we're doing sci-fi, which could also dive into the realms of say like the classic pulp era 60s ray gun shooting kind of heroes, that happen to go on the planet Jupiter or whatever. But then also we can go as far as to doing some unnecessarily complex structures, like from something like Star Wars, just lots of miniature details and all that other kind of fun stuff in between. Or you might have the perfect little middle ground where it's just pulpy enough, but fun enough to where it's a little complex and everyone just has a grand old time.
Absolutely. like Doc Emmett Brown's wife from the third Back to the Future. Absolutely. Patriarchy. That's the word I was looking for. Throw off the
There you
patriarchy
go.
and do her own thing. Okay, I'm freaking loving that outfit so much more than what I did. Like, that is absolutely on theme for the era you're talking. And you did that so much better than I did. I'm kind of mad now. I kind of don't
I
like
mean,
you
you put your
anymore.
character
I
in a
want to. I
pose.
want
I
to take
just keep
my
all my
drawing and go
characters
home
standing.
because that is a much better design for hitting that era than what I did. I Yeah, you stink. I don't like you anymore. I don't want to be your friend.
Oh man.
God. Oh, you suck. That's good. I'm mad.
Bro, I can say that for you because like nowadays, I guess whenever I just design characters, I'll just go for the basic standing model. And I made a bunch of these, like you kind of see the base that I have over here. I had this base for a while, and I've been using this exact base for whenever I make my own like knockoff Power Rangers, which by the way,
Mhm.
I will be making a series of videos where I'm gonna talk about like my own concept of a Power Rangers-esque franchise that I call the Ultra Squad. But I basically have this body frame over here. I then have the exact same one, but as a more feminine body. And I just now drew, up a bulky model. So let me show you the model bodies that I have here, just so that y'all can kind of get an understanding of what I did here. So of course we have the big bulky body right over here. Think like your Hulk thing. I kind of did this as like a generic, traced over type situation. So if I have a design for a character, I'll just be like, oh, I can just add details later. So this is the big bulky character. We have your, generic hero character. Now, obviously, if I'll ever modify them, I'll modify them to the different body types. But yeah, so I think this is like the Spider-Man Power Rangers kind of vibe right over here. And then we have the feminine version of this where you can tell that it's that, So I kind of created these, and whenever I have an idea for a character, I'll be like, oh, let me just see how the design looks costume wise, and then I'll go from there. So that's more or less the gist of how I start designing most of my characters nowadays. Just so I'm like, oh, if I have an idea for the costume, I'll see what happens. And then I was also thinking for his suit, it could also be like it would grow with him. I don't know why. Whenever like size changing characters are always interesting to me because I can't tell if like their clothes are gonna grow with them or if they're just gonna like either break or just hang on them and whatnot.
Oh, I love the Batwing idea, Benjamin. That's a cool idea. Uh, the old public domain hero Space Hawk. I think so. I think I know who you're talking about. I mean, there are a lot of public domain characters, so I might be mixing some of them up. Uh, I've read a whole lot of the Blue Bolt, which I think is public domain now. That
He
was like
is.
an old Kirby
Blue
one,
Bolt in public domain because there's a guy
but
named Austin McConnell who's actually there's a guy named Austin McConnell right now who's doing an entire project in like basically taking characters from the public domain and he's making his own cinematic universe. He wrote already a bunch of books based on some of these characters. He he did Brain Boy, he did the Spider Queen, as well as he's currently right now in the process of taking the character of Atlas, which is the character with the weird leopard pants, the blue top with the red fist logo or whatever. So he's trying to turn that into like a low budget, like home to video DVD type of movie. He had a success with one of the characters of Catman, turning that into an animated series, but like done in the classic like retro-esque style of, somewhat retro because he ended up hiring an animator to do that, as one should. All right, now of course, if you're gonna have a character like this, he needs to have some luscious locks because he's the classic spacefaring hero with the very gorgeous hair. Just all that other kind of fun stuff.
gotta be. Okay, and
Okay, but I think one of y'all said it that I should do. Uncle Lee's character could be Jupiter Jack. I had the name Jupiter Jack for a while, for a very, very long time. I had that name. I just never knew what to do with it. So I have the means to create the character now. Plus, Jupiter being the giant planet, size changing, kind of works. Just probably need to make him avoid eating beans so he's not just a gas giant. The Super Zeros. Yep, that's right. He's doing that. That's what it's called, the Super Zeros project. Okay, now of course he needs to have them. He needs to look the part. He needs to have that chiseled edge. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. All right, actually, let me structure out that whole head again. Let me see how we can do this. Fish, have you ever seen the old public? All right, that's what you're answering. Well, figured out flight or. Let me figure out the flight for powers. The flight for powers, but she has bat wings. Ooh. Had an idea for Power Rangers that could turn into knights that ride different motorcycles. Dragon game. That's a cool concept. Now let's add on to that. Those motorcycles look like horses, so they're knights riding on horseback motorcycle hybrids. You're welcome. Ooh, and now this is the silent part. Now we got to try to keep things up and on the go. All right, so I'm going to keep that headpiece, but I have to take that off because I need to figure out the facial structure of people. Don't you just hate that when you're just trying to draw a face, you just got to be all like equal about it? You know, you got to be like, oh, got to figure out how they look.
What gets me is when I've drawn thousands and thousands of people doing thousands and thousands of things at this point. And then all of a sudden I'll go to like draw a lady in some pose that, you know, like jumping through a window or something. And I'm like, how do you draw people again? And all of a sudden, like, I don't remember how to draw a upper thigh, or, you know, all of a sudden I just can't get shoulders right. I'm like, I've drawn millions of people at this point, and no, I just can't get that one right. One of my favorite things I ever purchased that I thought was kind of silly at the time was those little, you know, like really well defined little Japanese plastic
Yes, the
bottle.
little like action figure looking things.
Yeah. And I think both of the ones I got, I think were knockoffs, both of the sets that I've bought over the years, but they still help. Like when I get stuck and like I'm trying to think of the like 100th way to have Alice look cool jumping through one of her interdimensional portals, and I'm just having a hard time coming up with a pose, and I've tried a couple of times and it's just not working, I will pull out like the little female figures and I'll just start playing with it and start putting her in different positions and turn it around and look at it until I'm like, you know what, this angle would be cool. And it's really helped me when I get stuck, or like if I'm trying to draw a cool flying pose for a guy that I haven't drawn 100 times, you know, in a bunch of recent books, and don't want it to look like I'm just drawing the same thing over and over again, I'll pull out that male figure and play with him for a little while until I come up with something, and move him around until I'm like, oh, maybe if it just looks like he's standing above us in the air, just standing there, that would look cool, or whatever. What's up, Dylan Magi of the Lasso?
How you doing? How you doing? It's like, Mr. Fish, maybe have your character grow different parts of her body. It's different size, like creating her fist into a gigantic punching fist. Kind of like Miss Marvel, how she has the embiggening effect and whatnot. Could you imagine the original Captain Marvel, Shazam, and Mary. I'm assuming that's one of the Marvel
Mary
reimagined
Marvel, yeah.
retro 1950s, 60s superpowered space cadets. That would be interesting.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. Like jetpack instead of a
The capes.
cape, and
Like
I
it would
tell
still
you,
have the lightning bolt aesthetic to it.
it's weird, but in the old ads, in the old comics, like on the front page, inside front cover, a lot, there would be one of those. I don't know if it was a scam or what, but like if you signed up and helped sell their newspaper or whatever, you would be able to win all these prizes, and it'd be a full page of all these cool stuff you could win if you sold so many whatevers. But they would have this superhero on there, Captain O. And it was this like blue suited dude with like I think a lightning motif on his costume and a jetpack and this big O, and Captain O would be flying in because it was Olympic whatever or something like that. But I
Okay.
remember it being Captain O clear as day. And I always thought he looked so freaking cool. I knew he was just drawn to sell whatever this scam was or whatever. I knew it was there was something hinky with it even as a kid. But I loved that design of Captain O so much as a kid. I thought he looked so cool. And and it's largely because of the retro sci-fi vibe of, him having a big jetpack on, and I think he may have had a ray gun or something too. Captain Tootsie is public domain.
Captain Tootsie. I'll take a quick gander. Gander? I barely know her. All right, Captain Tootsie. There we go. Just a dude wearing a red t-shirt with the letter T on it. Oh, just look
What
at that.
more do you need to strike fear into the hearts of villains everywhere?
And was
T is the
used
scariest letter of the alphabet.
exactly right next to X or Q or O. Okay. I think I kind of got something here. It's like my goal was that I want to kind of draw that classic, spacefaring macho man.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know if I did, because I think I just drew like a teenage hero instead.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Maybe this is like Jupiter Jack in his younger days,
And that's the thing I love about old sci-fi is you can do things like Space Ghost's little teenage partners who are like, they're like space cadets. They are like children on the job training to be like space cops. And that is such a weird concept, but sure, why not? Yeah, I will. My kid wants to join up for the Junior Space Rangers and fly through outer space with some, strange adult superpowered space cop and take on giant monsters and bug-faced alien mad scientists. Okay, honey, if that's what you want to do, it sounds like a great career. I mean, who's going to let their kid go off and do it? It's freaking nuts. But I love just how wild stuff could be. And God.
And I feel like we've lost that sense of, like, honestly, we have lost that sense of whimsy and wonder
Oh yeah.
in our sci-fi, which, like, I kind of wish it was. I wish I experienced such things as that. Like, yes, I can go watch the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. I could watch Space Ghost. I could go and do all those things. There's nothing stopping me from doing it. But it's like getting that authentic reaction to genuinely watching something like that would be amazing. Getting to see like the intrepid of like, what will happen next time? Will Space Ghost ever get out of this situation? Kind of like, the Adam was Batman.
Mhm.
There's always something cheesy or whatever always being said in those episodes. And I'm just like, man, kind of wish we had
That
that
hook
today. But
that
no,
makes you
everything has to
wanna
be so
come back.
dark and gritty and serious. Like, don't get me wrong, I like my fair share of a nice dramatic storytelling, but it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
sometimes I just want to watch some fun things,
And, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy, gritty, grounded sci-fi that's a look at, what would the future really be like, if we could live forever in, uploading our consciousness, or whatever the story is taking a look at, whatever concept, how ethical is, AI servants, and when does that become slavery all over again? And yeah, that stuff's fun to take a look at. And some people write really interesting, engaging stories in there. But also, sometimes it's just fun to, have an evil, bug-eyed alien mad scientist who's running around outer space trying to start a giant space zoo. And, we need to go beat him up and set all the monsters free, because turns out the monsters ain't bad after all. They just
Oh,
scary.
wait, hold on a second here. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna get to you, Benjamin, real quick because that was a really good one, but I want to see the other ones. Love retro sci-fi, same here. There's also a wacko public domain, Captain Marvel, who is an android who says split in all of his body parts, come apart, and fly after you. Plus, he has like 5 other major powers. That's interesting. And then
That's wild.
we have Destin Blue 123 saying hello. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the show. And then we have Benjamin Millennial 8050 saying, so would this character made by me be in the same world as Radiant Knight? Remember when it was like it was my second character, and we both
Mhm.
got to show off like the character with the personality of like eating something and whatnot. So my space radiant, like Gundam looking kind of a hero, like space wizard essentially. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Again, that could be like a far. Oh shoot,
Mhm.
I have a second character for this science fiction universe. Maybe Mr. Fish, you happen to have this might be our second character in this sci-fi universe. Because our first one being the guy who eats, and for you it's feast. For me, it's Radiant Knight.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay,
I
when I post from a role for hero. Love it.
I
Can't
love
wait to
that
see.
idea, especially for yours. I think my guy kind of fits as well into a superhero world as he does anywhere. But that Radiant Knight one, he would fit great in with this, I think, into
Oh,
this same
100%.
world.
I could see that happening. I'm just trying to see how I can get this face going. Sometimes I'm just trying to draw a face, but then it's like, no, you're not.
Hmm. I tell you, it's fun. It's weird how repetitive so much of my job is now. Like, literally drawing a lot of the same things just over and over again. I mean, there's only so many ways to draw a hand or a fist, and there's only so many ways to draw a head. And that image that they show sometimes when you're learning anatomy, where it's got like the skull, and there's like 3 different planes of it, one looking straight at you and one looking up and down, and then it shows it from all those angles as it's turning from one side to the other, and you
Mhm.
see it like full profile this way straight on, and then like a bunch in between as it's looking profile the other direction, and then there's one looking up and then one looking down on it. I literally thought about doing that with Alice, and like just making a whole bunch of versions of her head, just the block of her head, like where her hairline is, where her ears are, her eyes, her mouth, her freckles, from all those angles, so that I could just plop in one of those heads when I'm penciling. And I would still ink it and like draw it new and put expression and stuff on it. But like, just to cut down the time because I'm drawing this stuff so many times over and over again, I'll be like, okay, her head looking down from this angle on the spectrum and
Mm.
drop that in place. That would be kind of nice to have a shortcut like that. But I came across a TikTok video one time of an artist that was working on her first web comic, and when I first saw it, it absolutely appalled me. And the more I thought about it, the more I went from it's brilliant to it's a crime, back and forth again.
Mm.
But for her OC for her book, she drew a whole bunch of high resolution images of her OC's face from every direction and every expression she thought she would need. And when it's time to do her book, she just selects out one of those heads, plunks it in place, boom, she's done. And on one hand, it's very quick, it speeds her up very much. But on the other hand, especially as a new artist, I feel like she's robbing herself of the experience you get of drawing that character over and over again until it becomes second nature and it's not hard to draw a head from whatever angle you want to. And I feel like, especially if you're a newer artist, robbing yourself of that experience is a crime. Me as an
Mm.
experienced artist, I kind of like, if I can knock that penciling out that much faster and then go back and ink over it and tweak it and make it, change her expression in her eyes and stuff in her hair and what draw her hair in for whatever's going on now. And maybe it's a time saving tip, maybe it's not. I wouldn't want my stuff to come out looking too cookie cutter, but my stuff has gotten so consistent as it is, it's almost a little cookie cutter because she looks so much the same from the way I draw her. So I don't know. I'm torn on it. I feel many ways about it.
This is interesting.
If this was 30 years ago, I would probably jump on it as an easy cheat and I would be robbing myself of the experience. But I don't know. Now I'm not sure. R.S. Shepherd, Uncle Lee, what if your character Jupiter Jack is actually a protector of monsters and goes around the universe freeing monsters who are locked up and put away, even if they're not evil? That's a cool idea. I like that.
Ooh, love that. And of
And
course,
that's
he's seeking adventure, so it's more like he has the
a
high.
sci-fi, space-bound, eco-terrorist, animal rights activist type person. I love that idea. I think that's a really cool idea.
Maybe this could be the interesting part. Maybe he was raised by a not so human looking alien race. Maybe they were more beast in comparison or something along the lines of that. And maybe in his overall situation, he knew that other people look different, but what separated, say, I don't know. I'm thinking aloud here. But the idea would be, I like that idea. Like maybe there would be that proper motive, maybe that he was kind of like Tarzan style, raised by a strange group of individuals or some strange like alien race. But the thing is, they're no different than loving and caring, kinds of people. And of course, maybe there is an entire, fleet and armada that wants to take them down and, be like, oh, they don't look like us, very xenophobic. I think that's how the word's used. Forgive me because I don't.
They have to be monsters. They, look how scary they look. They look different than us. And, they're big and walk around on 6 legs and, clearly they're not thinking beings as we are. Should be put in a zoo and studied. I can only imagine if seafaring Great Britain could have gone to the stars and experienced other races. I can only imagine how many sentient races would have ended up in zoos and stuff. God, could you imagine if we went back and found out that giraffes and zebras and elephants and stuff all had written language and oral passed down histories and traditions and things, and we just brought them here and stuck them in cages and look how big it is, mama. Oh my god.
Or maybe they became inbred and they were unable to potentially speak their language because it's now no longer part of their system.
Yeah. Or they forgot how to speak, like in
Their ancient alien horse language.
Like in Wicked, where the animals, like, if they're treated badly long enough, lose their ability to speak. Which I didn't realize until I started. I didn't really think about it until I started doing research. Once I started adding all the public domain stuff into
Alice.
my Alice Lost in Wonderland story, which didn't originally have that stuff in it. And I never thought about it. I know the lion speaks, but it never occurred to me that he's an animal that can speak like Toto, and Toto doesn't speak in the movie, but in the books, he does. He eventually learns how to speak after being in Oz long enough. And I didn't know that. That's interesting stuff. There's so much more fascinating lore to that world than we're exposed to on the surface with just the movie. And the movie takes its own liberties and goes in its own directions. And
like, for instance, there's actually silver shoes, not ruby ones, because that's MGM. They were like, yeah, no, we're doing the ruby thing.
It didn't film well. Like, they just didn't look as good on camera. And so, silver slippers are out and ruby are in, because boy, that ruby popped on God, what do they call the color process back then? I can't remember.
Wouldn't know. It's been a minute.
Maybe. Let's see.
Okay, there we go. We got something going on over here. Just got to draw out this character, trying to keep the attention of people, because it's not going to say it's hard, but it's not easy either, trying to draw and maintain the whole show and then some.
Yeah, it takes some stretching of the brain. Technicolor, absolutely. Dylan Magi of the Lasso comes in with the answer. That is a long thing to read in one line. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Uncle E's character is like the space Aquaman from Monsters. That's a cool idea.
Ooh, for like some
that
specific.
Is a cool idea.
That is actually
like raised by space monsters, he learned to speak their language and learn their ways. It's amazing. Like, the old Tarzan books are really interesting, but also like really problematic when you look at them from today's lens. And they had such a disrespectful look on everything, and anything that wasn't white and British or whatever was so savage and looked down upon. And but there's still so much fascinating stuff in the old Tarzan stories when you really read them. Like, my brother loved the books, so I had all the novels laying around when I was a kid, and I read them here and there growing up. And like, Tarzan was brilliant. I mean, he was raised by gorillas, but he learned to speak all the languages of all the animals in the jungle. He taught himself to read in English from like picture books that his human parents had left behind that he found. And he just figured out by looking at the symbols that, well, the MAN under a picture of a man must mean this is a man. And like, taught himself to read without even knowing a spoken language, and then learned to speak by copying, Frenchmen, and had to translate from French into the written English that he knew into gorilla in his brain that was like his native tongue. It's crazy how brilliant he was. And then learned to speak, really well and fluently, and wasn't like me, Tarzan, you, Jane. I mean, that's a movie thing. Like, he spoke properly and could walk back and forth between, the British aristocracy and the jungle, and he's really fascinating. But also, there's a whole lot of issues with him too. The Phantom needs to come back along with the Shadow. Couldn't agree more, Sniper Panda. Just sitting up in a tree, crunching on bamboo and popping people in the cranium. That's what Sniper Panda's doing all day.
That indeed he is. All right, I think I got the general gist of my character's look down. It's very simplistic, really, but that's what I like about it.
Yeah, mine's pretty simple too, but that's kind of what I was going with, because I'm thinking like this is right when she got zapped with a shrink ray to try and kill her, and I'm going with she already naturally had energy powers that let her shoot like energy rays, and then comes across this evil scientist in outer space that tries to destroy her with a shrink ray, and her energy powers allow her to survive the process, and now she can shrink and grow, and her energy powers get focused and concentrated more depending on her size. Like if she grows, she can shoot bigger beams that do less damage, but they can hit bigger areas and go further. But the smaller she gets, the more concentrated that energy gets, and it's like a laser and will just right through something. It might only be as big as a needle, but it can right through. And
okay, and you know what?
A little twist on the powers and the shape changing and whatnot.
You know what? For me, I like the idea because I call him Jupiter Jack, right? And I like the concept that he could change, like he's like like a gas giant or something like that. Maybe we could play with the idea that he could enhance his like physique that way or something, like, because I'm thinking. Sorry, it's like this is me roughly trying to just squeeze the idea out of my head. Like I'm constipated, just minus the fact that I'm on a toilet.
Need some brain prunes. That's what you need.
Exactly. But the idea would be that in this case, he was already kind of like this like thrill-seeking adventurer. He was already kind of just going out and about doing his own thing. He was just minding his own business, just in his spaceship, just doing whatever he was just doing. Typical 60s sci-fi space adventure stuff. All of a sudden, he sees, like a particular group of aliens that he kind of knows is in danger. And he's like, oh, heck no, I got to go save these people. In the process, though, it turns out it was like this warlord who was trying to use this new evil, beam of, death ray looking kind of a thing. And it was supposed to like explode and destroy something. But of course, he did this during the worst time, possible, because it turns out there was a cosmic wave, a cosmic storm of sorts on its way on over to this distant, star sector of the galaxy. And it turns out he ends up getting into the way. He got shot by the ray. All of a sudden, he didn't blow up because the cosmic rays kind of kept him all confined. And now he is able to expand and blow up his size if he needs to, becoming Jupiter Jack, the giant of the stars, or something like that. We're thinking.
I'm liking where it's going, though.
Could I make him blind? You know what? No. That's too typical. Let's go for I don't know if it's typical to do a red-haired guy, because I think that would be fun, like a redhead space adventurer and whatnot. Probably give him some freckles in the process.
Deadpool, where did you post it at? Your Periwinkle, the immortal transmutation wizard.
Okay, I need to see that like now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Where did you post it at? Did you post it on YouTube, or did you post it on like Instagram, or?
I'm not gonna lie,
I'm not liking Instagram's search function, because there's like less than 100 Roll for Hero posts so far. It's like, here's a bunch of other nonsense.
I just drew Jean Grey as a guy,
because it's not going to just give me what comes up with that. It's going to give me a bunch of results no matter what, and I don't like that. Instagram. Okay.
Instagram.
I am not seeing it under that search.
I feel like we're getting there. When in doubt, cooler it out. Where are you at? Where are you at? There you go. Cooler. All right. How many times am I going to? We'll see. See if we'll stick with this color palette. See how this works. I rolled it, and therefore this shall be the color palette. Unless I probably do a different palette of colors. Just going to do this for now. Just do this. Probably not make him a redhead because I thought that was a good idea. But you can't go wrong with brown. Brown-haired man. Because I unintentionally drew Jean Grey.
See, I'm thinking I'm so far I'm sticking with the idea that she's like a cadet at the time. I'm thinking she would grow and get a more unique costume, but I kind of like the idea of her starting out as like a space cadet in training, and she has these energy projection powers that made her somebody they wanted to adopt into the star cadets or whatever it's called. And then on this mission she gets zapped and gets strange new powers
In typical sci-fi fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of liking the colors from this. Oh, dang it. Hold on. That wasn't the intention. Kind of. A little
Wasn't
bit.
it?
Well, the intention was that I was supposed to do it on a different layer because, with technology, you can play with that kind of concept. So, boom. Boom. All right, we got that over there. Nope. There we go. Boom, 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 and la boom. Let me take this color because this is actually not that bad of a color to use as that kind of base. Then we take this color and use that probably for the pants. Yeah, we'll use it for the pants. There we go. Okay, that's actually not that bad. This is actually kind of nice. Quite interesting, I shall say. Yes.
That is not right. That is not the same color. One of these things is not like the other. She had one fist a lot darker than the other one.
Okay. I feel like I'm getting there. Feel it, man.
What a feeling.
There is a character from The Boys named Jack from Jupiter. Yeah, he's supposed to be the token like Martian Manhunter thing made by Vought.
No, I don't want that.
Let me see. Okay, so far I think this is interesting. I might have to do another. Dang, why am I getting all these darker like natural colors? I'm not against it, but and I instantly regret it because now my eyes are bleeding with all the cool colors here. With simple designs, it's so hard to find like the right colors because you don't want to overuse some colors because they're overused, but also at the same time, it's like, what else are you gonna do? Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, you know what? Let's give this one a good old try and very natural. I'll stick with dang it. Turn off my iPad unintentionally. There we go. All right, let's see. What do we want to do? Probably go the opposite because the last time I used cool colors, that was for Soul Wave, which you totally forgot, by the way, to do the verses.
I didn't forget. You just well, I mean, the way you were talking, I assumed
You
you
know
were
what?
going
You're
right
not
into
wrong,
rolling.
but you got to take over once. I'm yapping too much, man. You got to play the adults like you're older than me. Play the adult. Be like,
Which,
hold on a
I
second,
mean, we can
child.
always go back and do that here in a second and look at the characters from last week too, because frankly, or the couple of weeks ago, I'd like to show off the cover that I did that I think came out really freaking awesome. So we can do that here in a minute, or actually, I could do that right now too.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Um,
Probably give me some time to think. And if anything, did I send you the cover that I did?
No.
All right, I'm going to send that to you now. So, yeah, there's all that fun stuff.
Okay.
Or I mean, I could probably show it off here. So I mean,
here is Soul Wave that Esteban did, who came out really cool.
So like my inspiration was like what's it called? Iron Fist with a touch of some Spider-Man-esque designs. And again, I tried not wimping out of the color scheming because, you know, I did the generator thing and I didn't want to, like, I was like, you know, I'm gonna roll the amount. I rolled the amount and I was like, dang it, I had to stick with these colors then. I worked with it to the best of my abilities and I think that was pretty cool. Now let me show y'all the cover I done for Soul Wave.
Oh, cool.
Just a simple generic standing post because I think he had elemental control, so I want to show off like the fire, but like making it like elementally green, you know, making it so, you know, like I don't know, I guess the proper way to say it would be like to make it more mystical. And again, showing off the rock arm, showing off his martial skills, but also getting to go with that elemental control. I think it was it elemental control? Yes, it was. That oh so darn elemental control. Rolled that the first episode of this show, rolled it the last season of season 1.
And a few times in between.
And a few times in between.
And then for mine, I rolled up the Mystic Medic, which had basically the same powers. But as I was looking at the combination of powers, I was struck with like my first thought on how you would have that many powers would be something like Doctor Strange, like a magician that, you know, could use all these different spells and stuff to be able to transmute matter and fly and all the other things that we got the ability to do. And that was my first thought. And then I was like, how could I do something new with that? And thought like, well, what if it was like an everyman situation with those kind of powers? And then I thought like, you know, what if it was like somebody in the service, like somebody who takes care of you, somebody who's there to protect you from all these things that happen in the world, the vampire bites and the werewolves and the, you know, ghosts and the demons and stuff. And I came up with the idea of this medic who's like an EMT, and part of his job is taking these talismans and charms and things and these funky green glasses that let him see different wavelengths of light and whatnot. And he goes out on calls not knowing if it's going to be a gunshot or a werewolf attack or a possession or, you know, who knows what. But he gets called and goes out into the field mission after mission, night after night, and has his big giant backpack on his back full of bandages and, you know, syringes and charms and voodoo dolls and whatnot, and goes out there to save the day. But the cover, baby, the cover came out freaking awesome.
No, Mr. You gotta go full. You gotta show that off completely. Like Soul Wave was just.
I love this cover. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you gotta show that one off. Imagine doing roll for hero
and move him over here. Ooh. The cover came out epic, and I mean, I love the simple old school lettering. I love, you know, he's here on the job trying to take care of this kid that got attacked and is bleeding out, and he's got the IV bag in one hand pumping fluids and a stake in the other hand in case, you know, whoever hurt him returns or this kid turns and he has to put him out of his misery. and you got the evil dude in the back here that attacked the kid, and you've got buckets of syringes and medical supplies and gauze and bundles of sage and a big dagger, and because you got to be ready for whatever comes at you. And I just absolutely love this cover. It makes me want to do a short story about this guy so badly. It is so hard for me to try and not go chasing squirrels, but I am really working hard to trying to stay focused on doing one story at least until I get this 6 issue arc of Alice out and get the first trade done in it. I'm going to focus. I'm probably going to put out the trade of Green Zone because it's almost essentially finished and isn't going to take a lot of work to distract me. But I'm ready to get those trades out and have them on the table at cons. So I want to get there, but maybe after that, maybe we need to throw in a one-shot Mystic Medic and a couple other books and a couple other ideas we've rolled up. Maybe by then we'll have a whole bunch of sci-fi ideas we could put into one story.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a really good title for it too. I call it it was an idea. It's like a Star Wars kind of a title-esque thing. I call it Beyond the Stars. So it could tell a vast variety of like sci-fi stories. Heck, maybe characters that we'll be able to create could actually cross over, or team up, fight against each other, so on and so forth. Who knows? Maybe next season we'll practically do the same thing. Maybe even dive into the world of the Primal Empire, and so on and so on and so on.
That would be really cool. And by the end of this, we're going to have so many characters for this season that all fit into one sci-fi world. It would be pretty easy to put something together, even if it was, a black and white mini comic or something. But that could be a really fun project to work on. I don't have enough of those that I got to get done.
I know, right? Other than that, I think I got my character down. I finally got something here. I finally acquired a completed character concept. Simple in design, but again, it represents that full retro, 60s.
Absolutely, Dylan. He says, we're taught don't go chasing waterfalls as kids, but as adults, don't go chasing the squirrels.
For real.
And I guess it also depends on how country you are. Because, that's, for me, it's always chasing squirrels or chasing rabbits, one or the other. That's what me and my wife use all the time. I will catch myself in the middle of like cleaning up the kitchen, and the next thing I know, I'm in the bedroom, pulling stuff out of the closet and organizing it. I'm like, dang it, I'm chasing rabbits again. And then I'll try and go back into the kitchen and focus on that again. And then next thing you know, I'm in the office pulling stuff out and starting to reorganize it. And being ADD, I can't clean up anything without pulling everything out and starting over from scratch and putting it all back away again. So I got to make a bigger mess before I finish it.
As one.
My son's the same way, drives me up the wall. But I know where he gets it from. He got it from me. I got it from watching you.
All right. Now I got to at least see if I can put him in a pose or something like that could show off his. I'll get onto that cover later. I got to draw my characters in poses because I realize I just tend to just draw them standing. I love drawing them standing because it's just easy. But I got to show off their powers, man.
Yep.
Just got to show off how those powers look. There we go. Get rid of. Well, actually, though, I will keep these because I'll never know if I'll ever need those again. There we go. There we go. What do you think your character's name would be there? Mr. Fish?
I'm not sure yet. I've been trying to think about that. Let's see. And now let's
see. How could I draw this?
Oh no! Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
What are you gonna do there? What are you gonna do there?
I'm gonna paint that shape of her body black, and I'm going to convert it into an image material, and now it's an object, and I can do all kinds of different things with that object. Like I can change the color of it, and then I can copy and paste that object and shrink it down a little bit more, and then change the color of it, and then copy and paste and shrink it down a little more and change the color of it, and there we go, and get that kind of
Oh, that
shrinking vibe off of her.
Oh, that's awesome. Nitro Star or microwave.
It's all the rage. All the kids love microwaves. It's all they talk about on the playground.
Or as my father puts it, you live in a microwave generation. It's everything's instant. You guys can get it whenever you want.
I can't wait 30 seconds for popcorn. I need it now.
Exactly. So our powers that we ended up rolling up for Sniper Panda, we basically got size change and energy projection. So Mr. Fish is going for a more like shrinking character, apparently, and then I'm going for a more growing character. So I based my character on the idea of like, oh, mine's based on Jupiter, the gas giant planet. And then, Mr. Fish over here decided to go for the microscopic. So we'll see, I guess how that plays into the naming of your character, but there's all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. What are y'all thinking for names? I mean, I'm thinking my first thought is she probably had a name when she got started as like a cadet hero, but that may not be the name that she would have stayed with forever,
Or maybe it's
I'm
like a
not
name
sure.
that she ended up obtaining through some people, depending on what she ended up doing. Like maybe she ended up going on a mission, saved a bunch of people's lives, and because of that, they ended up dubbing or like giving her a name because they don't know who she really was.
Mm-hmm. Like, thanks, Star Girl. And, I wonder if that would work. Let's see what happens if we take all those.
I'm kind of mad now that I'm like drawing him in a pose. I feel like I could have just done like an alien. I could have done Ultraman, but done differently. Ultraman from Tokusatsu, the giant alien fighting rubber suited monsters and stuff like that.
Also sci-fi.
Also sci-fi. You're correct there, Mr. Fish. Again, sci-fi isn't just technology. It could also just be anything you want it to be. That's why I love this show. Again, was I planning on drawing a 1960s style retro hero? Absolutely not. Am I happy that I'm doing it? Absolutely.
Okay, let's see what happens now if I make that instead.
Quarks are smaller than atoms, so Quark Star sounds cool to me, says Dadpool.
That is cool.
Ooh, there's another one, Electrolyte. He got what it takes. Then there's Cadet Cosmo. Ooh, Cadet Cosmo, or maybe that's part of the cadets that she's a part of. Maybe she's simply known as a Cosmo,
like the Cosmic Cadets.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
So she's, if anything, we can combine that. She is Quark Star, the Cosmic Cadet.
There we go.
There you go. Got a winner right there. Now give Mr. Fish his chicken dinner. He deserves it. And I have Jupiter Jack, the Giant, or the
Maybe.
Galactic Giant. No. Then probably gotta show off like maybe other little things over here.
Electrolyte. It's got what plants need.
Isn't that from that one movie?
It is.
Because I never saw it.
It are indeed. It are indeed. That's not the right color.
Okay, so I got it. I think I just unintentionally drew the cover. Well, how would I guess I would have to do the reversal if I was to show him changing in size, because like you did it from big to small. I gotta go from like small to big. So I gotta figure out how I gotta do that.
Oh, you could just put like a tower or something by one of those. I mean, he's standing over a mountain range.
Yeah, like in the space, out in space and whatnot.
Yeah, you put a rocket ship or a castle tower or something down there in the canyon, or put snow tops on some of those mountains, and that will tell you, that he's gigantic.
Yeah, because now I have to,
Yeah, that absolutely is the movie that gave us Crocs. That's crazy.
there we go.
Sad but true. Sad but true.
For he is Jupiter Jack.
Doing all the things that a Jupiter can do.
With the power of
He's
the
big, he's gaseous.
Jupiter Jack in the quest for the 6 rings. There we go. And on the quest of the 6 rings of power. There we go.
I'm sold.
Oh, tell me that wouldn't hit so hard as a cartoon back then. Follow Jupiter Jack as he goes on adventures, and he gets that annoying pet sidekick that we either love or hate to death.
Gee, Jupiter Jack, what do we do now?
No worries there. I know what we can do. It looks like I have to grow out a new situation here.
Oh my, I hate the comic relief characters so much. Like, Orko is my absolute least favorite. I really, really have beef with Orko, but old school Snarf from the Thundercats is also one of my absolute least favorites, because who the heck walks around saying their own name all the time when they can talk in full English? If all you can say is Pikachu and people just call you that because that's all you can say, all right, I will accept that. I don't like it, but I'll accept it. But for me to walk around and talk like this, fish, just sounds stupid, fish. I mean, that's just dumb. And I have Tourette's, okay? I have vocal tics. I will say stupid stuff at times. I will tag on at the end of things that doesn't need to be there. But thank God I don't walk around fish at the end of every freaking sentence. Oh, I don't. The only Snarf I ever liked was the one that couldn't talk in the newer remake. I could put up with him. And going back and rewatching the Thundercats as an adult, which was interesting because I've tried going back to rewatch He-Man, can't do it. It is I loved it so much as a kid. It is absolutely unwatchable for me now. It is so bad as an adult to try and sit through. I can't take it. Some of the later remakes, absolutely love them, but the original one is just so pandering and dumb. But going back, and I watched the whole Thundercat series without a problem. Joe the Galactic Giant. That's not bad.
Ooh,
Oh,
Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Giant.
there is something there, man. There is something there. I like the Jupiter jetpack idea, or that's cool too. But a galactic giant, like that sounds like the galactic giant is the tagline that comes after his name.
It's like Jupiter
That's
Jack, the Galactic Giant.
yeah, or the galactic Goliath. That would be
Ooh.
good too.
Oh
That's
no,
you stumbled onto the right version right there. You
the Galactic
twisted the
Goliath.
tongue, got you there,
Oh.
son. That's what she said.
Imagine drawing Jupiter Jack next to Radiant Knight. Oh my lord, that would be a crazy time. Probably if I do at some point, I'm going to do a roll for hero recap and showing off the character. Probably, tell a more polished story or like a polished, proof of concept
Mhm.
and whatnot. But then probably I might do like a variant cover showing off, Jupiter Jack with the Radiant Knight. So this is, and to think, we're now doing this entire thing where we're just going to develop nothing but a whole sci-fi season. So for the next 11 episodes from here on out, we are going to create a bunch of characters, and we're going to figure out
So much more for this world.
Oh yeah, we're going to figure out so much of it. Now, mind you, we can also even go as far as to say that we could keep this either like, because Fish, you and I could have this in the same like sandbox, if you will, of like, oh, so this could be my character who's on this.
Well, I think we absolutely should. I mean, I absolutely think that we should. It should be in the same genre, like the same universe, so these guys can cross over and interact and fight some of the same villains, and we can create bad guys that are in this world that create the cosmic chaos that gave them these powers, and like Dr. Seismo that's obsessed with size changing and growing little aliens into giant monsters, and turning people into atomic sized,
All right.
disappearing entire cities that way and stuff, and accidentally turned both of these people into more powerful heroes with his nonsense. A Civil War clash scene of All Your Heroes season 1. That would be cool.
Speaking of, actually, if you don't mind, I am going to enlarge my. I will enlarge my whole situation here if I can.
I will enlarge my hole, he said. That's the part that's getting clipped out and put on TikTok.
How
I will
dare
enlarge
you?
my hole.
How
Roll
dare
for
you?
hero.
All right, hold on. Just because this is actually a pretty fun cover. But outside of that, though, I actually wanted to show.
That's going to be an epic cover.
Oh, 100%.
Right,
by far, it's probably going to be the best cover next to the American Eagle cover. But speaking of season 1 characters that roll for hero, this is exactly what I kind of got going on right over here. What you're currently looking at right now is all of season 1 of every character that I've at least drawn from Roll for Hero, ranging from the first character that I've drawn, which is Cy Beast, which is actually the lady in the blue cybernetic outfit with that strange, claw mark on her chest, to the most recent character being Soul Wave, right dead center, being the last character of it all. So this is a culmination of all the characters that we have created thus far in season 1. Would you guys ever want a poster of this? Let me know, because I mean, this would be a lot of fun to have, in my opinion. But again, it's like if you know, then you know, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's actually get back to our regularly scheduled program of keeping ourselves in our things here. Perfect. Love it. We're here for it. But yeah, honestly, I think this might be okay. You know what? Top 3 covers that I really, really like so far from this entire Roll for Hero series is American Eagle, Birds of a Feather, which is one of my favorite.
Oh yeah,
ones.
that one came out really good too.
And if I do this correctly, Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath. Oh, that goes so hard.
Mm-hmm.
That goes so hard. Especially because I always
That's
want to,
good.
especially because I want to nail this part out here, which is the name of it. Because I had this idea of giving this like little title. So the J is also supposed to be like the loop, like the little ring around the Jupiter. And then like
Mm-hmm.
that other loop shooting outward is supposed to be the other beginning part of, Jack. Oh, so I finally get to test that out. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, I've had so guys, like, what did y'all come up with? I want to know what y'all did. Again, use the hashtag roll for hero. That's going to be hashtag ROLL, the number 4 and HERO. Use that to show us your awesome, fantastic creations on all forms of social media. So that way we can snag it up and we'll have like a fun show it all here type of things. Anyways, one of my D&D characters is a creepy druid cleric with low charisma that says her name instead of saying I or me because of religious stuff. And she's the healer of the group. Been having a blast, LOL. That's actually pretty interesting, especially like you can even go as far as to say like because God of the Christian, the Bible, he has several names, but he's obviously Yahweh is like the more logical name. But then there's also the great I am. So like imagine back then in the Bible days, people couldn't say I am or like I in a weird way because that's still referring to God in a way. So like imagine like that's an interesting take right there. That I will admit. Did y'all find mine on YT?
I'm looking right now. I'm not. It's not coming up in my search, but I'm gonna look you up individually.
We will find out soon enough on Roll for Hero. Man, I gotta find out how I can get that as like a cool echoed out thing. All right, come on, think. Where you at? Nope, that's Power Ranger art.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Let me pull
not
it
what I
up
meant to
here.
do there. Pull it up.
Periwinkle, transmutation wizard, roll for hero.
Love it.
Let's make it big. Let's big in here.
Big Aiden. No, not Jupiter Jack. We don't care about him. Periwinkle. Ooh.
There we go. I'm digging it.
Well, put me on a construction site and give me a shovel because I'm digging it here.
Yeah. That came out really cool, man. Good job.
Keep improving, man. Hey, who knows? If you follow the challenge like we're gonna be doing for the next 11 episodes, I can't wait to see what other kind of characters you like pair up with Periwinkle, or you get to show off, like, is Periwinkle going to be the villain? Are they going to be the hero? Are they going to be, somewhat like a side character to, the potential main character you're going to draw for later down the road? I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I can't wait to see what else you got going on here, Dadpool. And to think, if you guys want to show off your awesome stuff, please use the hashtag. The whole point of this show is so that y'all can be just as creative and have just as much of a blast putting together these awesome, ideas, these art pieces, and coming up with characters of your own. Who knows? For all we know, we'll be gushing on about the franchise you'll be making, and it just turns out you were just watching a live stream of two weird uncles just drawing their funny ideas.
Just coming up with silly size changing space cadets, and you came up with a really cool idea that went on to make you millions. And you thanked us in your Oscar speech.
I'd like to thank Uncle E of Ultra Comics and Mr. Fish of Go Mr. Fish for, had they not done Roll for Hero, I wouldn't have rolled up this character that would make me millions. So to those strange uncles on the internet, thank you so kindly. And we'll be there just clapping along, crying, just seeing our nieces, nephews, and those in between just succeeding in every way possible.
I don't think that's the cover, but I'm digging.
That would be cool as like a trading card. Like imagine if you were to have like, we create trading cards of all these characters, and that would be like the cool like effect kind of card. Like make that a holographic.
Cool, absolutely, Commander Comic. Put yours up too. We'd love to see it.
Speaking of trading cards, we're starting to sell those now at work.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I literally had to build the display today and it's like all a bunch of Pokemon cards, and I'm like, I can't tell if this is the worst thing to happen or the worst thing to happen. There are some things that I believe need to stay in the confines of a comic book shop, or at least a Barnes and Nobles or some other store. A gas station does not need to have trading cards, because the last thing I probably need to deal with is some crazy dude walking in trying to be like a scalper coming in, being like, "Hey, where are those Pokemon cards? I want to see if you guys got any legendaries." And I'm over there just like, brother, I just make the food for the gas station. I just work here. What about Johnny Jupiter? That's not a bad one, but I like Jupiter Jack. You know, it has that that kick, that I guess we were
Has that pop, baby.
yeah, that
Has
pop.
that funk to it. Has that pizzazz. It's got gumption. It's got moxie.
Who's Moxie? Since when was she a part of this show?
Where would it be? Sketchbook, maybe.
I would love to, if I ever somehow find the ways to do it, I would love to do like the Roll for Hero recap. Just do it as an entire like commercial for the Jupiter Jack TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it in the classic 1960s voicing kind of a thing, like lost into the realms of the black voids of space. Jupiter Jack is now on his mission to find the greatest adventure of a lifetime. Little does he know that he was hit with cosmic rays and a ray of explosives, making him Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath.
Just when our boy Jack thought he had everything going aces, all of a sudden here comes the evil space pirates.
Space pirates?
Oh, see, now here, this is a story that I would like to do when I get a chance. I keep having to move these around to make this work. But that's my space ape idea.
I want to read that so bad. Oh my god, I want to read that so
know.
bad. That looks like so
what I
much
really
fun.
would like to do is, because The Mighty Caw is such a short book, if I ever were to put it out through another publisher, and go to like comic book stores, I'd like to do a double comic and have half the story be The Mighty Caw and half of it be Space Ape, and be on very different cosmic adventures, and occasionally get to cross over and stuff. But you'd have like 12, 16 pages of The Mighty Caw, Space Barbarian, and then you'd have like 12, 16 pages, whatever, of Space Ape. And I think that would be really funny. And I love the idea of a big green gorilla in a mask. Just brings me so much joy.
It's like the Ninja Turtles wearing masks. They have no reason to
wear. What other green gorilla is it going to be?
It's like, exactly. Oh, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
God, can we have this in theaters again? Can we have this as TV shows? My Lord, why do we have to make everything so gritty and dark? I just want my weird sci-fi, man.
And the girl is like so over the top. Like, she is so over the top into him. And she's just like, "Oh, Space Ape, baby, you're just the dreamiest." And like, he's completely oblivious. He's like, "Yes, of course, we have heroing to do." But she's just like throwing herself at him, and he's completely oblivious to what's going on. And of course, she's the bee's knees. She's aces. She would never think of me that way, and she's just everything short of saying, "Space Ape, put a baby in me now." She's just like
You're a
throwing herself at him.
How could we do that?
And he is not picking up what she's putting down. But at the same time, she can like just absorb and eat just about anybody. And like,
there we go.
Oh, she is like a big
finally
giant amoeba.
Finally got to that title that I've always wanted to make. Oh man, I really want to read that, dude. I genuinely want to read that. Just off the look alone, I'm like, I want it. It's a green gorilla in space.
Oh yeah, I did not know how much I liked gorillas until I had to draw one in the background of something for some reason. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I love this so much.
Guys, it takes one, because like, look, I'm not gonna say that's a dumb idea, like, space ape, but let's be honest here.
Oh, it's a dumb idea, but it's fun. Like,
We need
it's
dumb
silly.
fun again. We just need that in our day-to-day life. We need dumb fun. For every Avengers level movie, you need to have a Sharknado to balance out the insanity, right? You got the in-depth superhero stories and all that other kind of fun, awesome stuff. But then at the same time, it's like, brother, I just want to see a dude just fight a tornado full of sharks, and I'll just call it a day. Like, does it make sense? No. Does it need to make sense? No. Why? Because we're there for the thrill. We're there for the fun of it. We're there for the love of the game, baby. And I really want that to be back in our entertainment sphere. Like, I want to see just stupid, wacky stuff. Like, if you have an idea, like, again, one of the things I would love to do, I need this like a year ago, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like, you get where I'm going with the spaceship and stuff. And of course, the spaceship transforms, like wings and stuff can pop out, and it can go from being more torpedo shaped to having wings to fly through. I'm thinking it could probably even pop out some wheels and turn into like a 57 Chevy looking thing driving
Or are
down
you trying to create a toyetic,
I am absolutely 100% am going with something to make it just as look like it would pop off the toy shelves idea. Just fun. That's what I want it to be. I just want it to be a big fun green space gorilla in outer space. And none of it has to make any sense, because my whole storyline for this dude is like he was a test monkey in the early flights, like little monkey,
right.
and he gets shot up into outer space and goes through, like a wormhole or, some kind of nonsense, gets flung into the far future, bathed in cosmic rays, and comes out the other side a green gorilla. Gorillas aren't grown-up monkeys, but he just mutates into this big, thing that's so far different than what he started as, and lands on an alien planet, very Adam Strange, kind of vibes. Lands on an alien planet, is adopted by this alien scientist, and is taught about, future tech and all this stuff. And eventually, the scientist teaches him enough and equips him enough to be able to try and go back home and find his way back home. And then he just essentially becomes like a wandering Wild West space cop, like the Lone Ranger, just traveling the outskirts of space, saving the day. And by the time he does find his way back to Earth, he realizes just how big a time jump it's been, and there are no other sentient green gorillas on Earth. He doesn't have a home there, so he just
now has a home
stays
that
in
lies
outer space,
beyond the stars,
saving the day. And okay, Commander Comics posted his on the Blue Sky. Let's see. I haven't ever tried getting on the Blue Sky from here.
It's a good question.
From this computer.
Honestly, I'm loving this cover so much right now. Like, this is looking like a lot.
I can't get on the Blue Sky from here. Or can I? No, I got to download an app to do it. So, darn, I can't use my phone because I'm filming on my phone. All right, we'll have to check Blue Sky later.
I feel like we got to do a slideshow, just do all that fun stuff.
But yeah, I've been trying to download and save all the ones that I've come across posted, but I've probably absolutely missed some. I guarantee it. But I'm trying to catch them all, and
just like Pokemon, he's trying to catch them all.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon deep in my heart. I'm trying to catch all the Roll for Hero drawings. Eventually, there will be enough posts like on Instagram and stuff with the Roll for Hero hashtag that'll be much easier to search. But right now, it's like a couple of our posts and then just a bunch of filler junk gets thrown in, and that's frustrating. But that's the nice thing about hashtag Roll for Hero is nobody else is using it, so it's wide open for us right now.
Oh yeah,
cool.
That's a hashtag real estate right there, baby.
Let's see.
There we
Now
go.
I
There
need to
we
come
are. I'm really loving. I really wanted to find a way to master this like title, and I'm so glad I found a way to make it all work. Because it was like trying to get the two J's in this image here to make it all work out, and it looks like, you know, the two letter J's with also having it look like a little space thing, you know, like making it like a planet. Oh,
Maybe Jupiter Jack could have a sidekick named Meteor Mandy. Mr. Fish, I put my
how
picture
dare
on
you
your
give me?
awesome. I will go look for that
How I am a
as soon as we get off of here because I got to use my phone and I'm filming on my phone.
Meteor Mandy, and you tell me this now while I got this much of the cover done? How dare you?
I'm thinking a little fiery streak like zipping around him, you know, with like some fist poking out of it would be a good representation for now, and then you can come up with a fuller idea for her later. But that would be really cool as like his sidekick coming alongside. God, I like that idea. God, now I want to design Meteor Mandy.
Honestly, wait a minute. That's what her name should be. Or like maybe your character could have been Meteor Mandy because of the energy projection that she produces.
And she shrinks down to like more of a meteor size. Oh my God. Okay. Redesign because this ain't gonna work good enough now. We gotta
Oh no, we got
fix
something
this.
good.
Yeah, I gotta even craftier notion here. Make a new layer.
Oh my gosh. We just basically came up with like the best dynamic duo for this sci-fi. I don't know any other character that could top this, honestly. Radiant Knight can't even touch Jupiter Jack right now. Like, it's like Doctor Strange and Ultraman. That's like the weirdest comparison I can make for what I got currently going on in my little sci-fi headcanon, because people are like, oh, what if it was like Radiant Knight and Jupiter Jack? And I'm like, how dare you give me good ideas? Aren't you supposed to have that for your stuff, people? You're so generous. How dare you?
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Oh, wait. Oh, hold on a second. Then we got Imagine Jupiter Jack teams up against a villain trying to create alien mutants. Oh, that's a fun one. I meant Jupiter Jack teams up with Radiant Knight. You are not wrong. You did say that. That's exactly what you stated. Love that idea. I could totally see that being like an Ultraman / like Doctor Strange story, but you just smack these characters instead. A small robot with floating eyes. We love that. I don't know how that would look, because robots can literally look like anything, ranging from Star Wars to Lost in Space. Oh, Meteor Mandy should be that.
Too late.
Too bad. Love the idea, but maybe you should try doing it for yourself, because for all we know,
yours would probably be more successful and better than ours anyway.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is by far, like, I think this might come across as like one of my favorite covers as of this moment. Just the sketching phase, this is already like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to actually like dive into this a little bit more and give it the proper details it needs. Oh, I can't wait for this Roll for Hero recap, just so I can show off this character. Y'all are too dangerous for us, because we get that dopamine hit every time we come up with a really cool idea on this show.
Oh man.
And I tell you, it sucks that we can't fully dive into it, because I would love to, which is the reason why for the entirety of Roll for Hero, or at least for all of this awesome season 2, we're going to be diving nothing more into the realm, but we're not going to do any other topic. We're only going to right now dive into the realms of sci-fi. Imagine if we did Diesel Punk. What the heck would we have been doing?
A whole world of Diesel Punk ideas. Or, you know, it for one season, it would be really cool to roll up like a couple of settings and have to mash them together, like say the Wild West and like high tech Japan, or you know, dinosaurs and steampunk, or take some things that are very different from each other and have to combine them together into the world that we're creating for. Could be really fun.
Oh, yeah. And plus, since we're now into the realms of like sci-fi, this could go into any expansion. For all we know, the next characters we could do, I could be drawing like a cybernetic, samurai that just happens to be a panda, and you should team up with Space Ape. Just saying. We have having trouble with a name for a female speedster with pyrokinesis and lava rock skin. I call her Ahi Velo, fire in Hawaiian, and velocity. Not bad, but I'm not sure. What do y'all think? Fire Streak is a pretty good name in my opinion. I think I like that one. Not bad, our shepherd. And then I think I go for it. I think go for it. There we go. That's what I'm going to say. What if Meteor Mandy was just a talking sentient meteor like Mogo, the Green Lantern, who is also a living planet? Again, fantastic idea, but a little late.
Yeah, I'm already sold on this.
And then creature, feature, and My Little Pony. I feel like there's some context that I'm not fully understanding there. But have at it. Have a blast there, bucko. Opa, hey. I'm loving this. This is honestly the best way that we could have started season 2 off. Best way we could have ever started the season.
Duplicate.
That I know for sure. You got Space Ape. What would be like the good complement to Space Ape? Like Space Ape and something or other. Because now I need...
Yeah, well, you got me there. That's, like I said, I was gonna go the Mighty Caw as a nice counterpoint, a savage and a superhero kind of vibe. But that's pretty close. All right, there we go. And it's a little bit off.
Where was that?
I forgot I changed her size. So now I got to match up my old line art to the new size.
There we go.
Get it to fit.
Oh, wait. You know what I just now thought of? Hear me out on this. Jupiter Jack would be like the Hanna-Barbera cartoon show that would play if we ever did the Diesel Punk universe.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a universe in a universe in a universe kind of a thing. Like the Russian doll of the little Russian doll effect there. That would be a blast and a half. Can Jupiter?
That would be cool.
Hold on, we got creature. You had me at Panda. Do it. I was thinking like Panda Samurai, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to have that kind of a space.
I want to do a series so bad about sumo wrestlers. I've had a sumo wrestler superhero character since I was a kid. I've wanted to do a series about this. Ben 10 is the only reason I haven't done one yet, because they did the Sumo Slammer. Yeah. And it's the only reason I haven't done one to date, because I didn't want to sound like I was ripping them off. But I love the idea of doing like kind of like that fantasy story that we were working on with the animals and stuff, with the and everybody's from like a different tribe, different skill set.
Yep.
Like have a bunch of sumo warriors that are from different tribes and have different skill sets, and some are tech based and some are mystic and some are whatever. Like they've all got these different skills and abilities and come from these different clans, and you got this group of sumo samurai type warriors that are coming together to save the day. And just, I want to do that idea so bad. And, eventually I probably will. But I just needed a little space between me and sumo slammers to do it and not sound like a total ripoff. Man, the best way to do this is probably just going to be.
All right. I love sumos. I made sumo robot a lot. Ooh. Space Ape is the smart one. He has a caveman human as a dumb sidekick, but he's the muscle. That's a pretty funny idea. And then I love sumos. I've made sumo robots a lot in my own comics I sketch. That would be awesome to share at some point. I would love to see how that looks.
And see, I would like to combine it with another idea I had for like a kid's story, or a more kid-friendly story, and where there are these like cybernetic samurai warriors, and they were like mankind's last ditch effort to like create warriors that could, defeat their enemies from other nations. And everybody was racing, all the nations were racing to build the best cybernetic samurais, and they sent them out to battle each other, and they ended up almost wiping out humanity altogether. And, kind of Rise of the Machines kind of thing. And this 20 cybernetic samurais nearly wiped out humanity, and they had to start over from scratch, and it became very fantasy type based. There's still some tech left over from the old world, but it's more of a fantasy looking world with some hints of old school tech in it. And like one of the kids in the story, his family makes their living mining an old trash dump that on their property, and they mine it for metals and things. And this kid's really into trying to figure out the old world tech and stuff. So he's the mechanic of the group. But and in the process, he ends up digging up one of these warriors and turning it on because he thinks it's just a kid. And it turns out, as the story goes on, it's one of the most highly evolved and most dangerous of all of them. But essentially it's just a kid. And then they go on adventures to, figure out his past and who and what he is. And most of these cybernetic samurais are still alive. Some of them are in hiding. Some of them are like, one of them's like a wandering Ronin trying to make up for his past by, saving villages and whatnot from monsters and pillagers. And some of them are warlords, and some of them are hidden away in, secret towers doing who knows what in the darkness, and all kinds of different stuff. And a couple of them lost their like biological components years ago, and now are basically just suits that go around looking for a host and will grab whatever organic host is nearby and suck it in. And so like you could just be a frogman chilling in the pond, and and then all of a sudden you get sucked up into this suit, and now you're the frog cybernetic samurai dude. And it's a crazy story, but I thought it would be a lot of fun. And a fun idea and easy to do, and very like kid-friendly themes that you could sell at like newsstands and stuff, and not make anybody mad because there's so much blood, like Alice Lost in Wonderland
and the Mighty Claw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Mighty Claw. I don't know why I thought it wasn't going to be so bloody when I started a book about a barbarian who's the deadliest bird barbarian in the galaxy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it got bloody real quick. And
we also got some
I was a little surprised.
Interesting little things over here. We got, what's it called? Imagine doing a season for Roll for Hero that has half of it being different settings, like oceanic and then fantasy. Like maybe for like 6 episodes, we do all things oceanic, and then the last 6 would be all things in a fantasy setting of that nature. Then we have Sumorai, like a sumo samurai. That's pretty cool. We have Space Ape and the Void Droid. That's actually pretty cool. That I like.
That's
Space Ape
better than
and
Murder.
Void Droid. I have a Stranger Things story involving clandestine shady government agency. Sorry, I can't read that properly. I didn't want to.
Clandestine.
That's the
I'll
one.
bet.
Clandestine shady government agency and experiment a giant Sasquatch named Mr. Bigfoot and a young 8-year-old boy he befriends named Timmy, not Jimmy. What about how about a female heroine who has lost her father to a criminal gangster who lives in a city like Hong Kong and New York, mixed, and her hero name is Orchid. Okay, hero name Orchid. Awesome. We love that. We're here for it. Commander Comic, you are on fire with these ideas. Man. Let's see what we got. Our shepherd saying Mr. Bigfoot projects the kid and fights other cryptics like the government, and the kid is a runaway. All takes place in a Washington state. Oh, that would be very interesting. And again, back to Sumorai. We love Sumorai. We're here for it. Or imagine fusing the settings to put a role for hero. Or imagine fusing the settings to put a role for hero for a season. I think we're trying to say the idea of like, what if we took 2 settings, fused it, and that's the whole season for role for hero? Because if that's what you're saying,
yeah,
that's not a bad idea. Because we can always go for a nifty concept such as that for this show. And again, we can do a lot of crazy, weird, nifty things for this show. Was I planning on drawing a 60s style superhero who can change his size? Absolutely not.
Of course not, you fool.
That's what the villain sounds like. Or if we ever did get to drawing those villains, I think we got to do villains next. Like, oh wait, that's true. Because then this is also okay. This even would tie into the villain to what we're dealing with here. Who's Jupiter Jackson, Meteor Mandy's villains? There we go. Okay, so that's what you were trying to say. So you were confirming that we roll up 2 settings and then we merge them, and that's a fun idea. That I can't wait for. That I cannot wait for there. For adventure lies beyond the stars. Space, the final frontier for all forms of creatures beyond the known galaxy.
No.
There we go. Guys, you are on fire. You guys are on fire coming up with these awesome ideas. Void Droid would be the robot companion sent to save the monkey that became Space Ape? Hold on a second. What? That would be so
That's not a bad idea.
That would actually be...
I'm glad I thought of that.
Totally. Not at all was that a suggestion by one of our fantastic nieces and nephews that are currently on stream right now, just giving us some fantabulous ideas. Not at all is that the case here. How do y'all feel about me calling y'all my nieces and nephews, though we are not biologically inclined? These are the questions that an uncle must ask himself. Okay, imagine the villain. Oh wait, hold on a second. Oh, there's.
See, I like this design a lot more now. This is more unique and has a more.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's iconic look, but it definitely has a less generic look than her suit did earlier. And it still has like the big shoulder profile that I was wanting, but I love the idea of her having the rocky gauntlets and breastplate and legs.
Wait, ready? Hear me out on this.
Yeah.
Hear me out on this. This is what we got. Ready? So imagine her part of the story. Sorry, I just need to do stuff with my hands. It's what keeps the engagement going on. So imagine, if you will.
Okay, right here.
Boom, boom, boom. Birdie. Anyways, so imagine if somehow, some way, right? Mandy was a cosmic cadet for some galactic base alliance somewhere off in some part of the galaxy. She was told that she had to go on a routine patrol to some sector that really isn't touched on as much and nobody really kind of cares about. That actually happens to be the same sector in which Jupiter Jack happens to be at. Then you see Jupiter Jack is going right in, trying to save these people. Your character, Meteor Mandy, is about to go in, probably going in for that same exact type situation. Turns out a cosmic storm swoops right in. And it turns out with that ray that was supposed to expand and destroy or do whatever, it turns out that cosmic ray ended up hitting both of our characters. Your character, being the speedy, fast character that she is, moving fast like a meteor, tries to move in to protect the people as best as she can, only then to be affected by, the environment around her, giving her this rocky-like exterior, giving her the speed of a meteor through space. And, Jack, not being as big, he was trying to protect these people as much as he possibly can, trying to be like a big shield. Little did they know that they ended up becoming Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath, as well as Meteor Mandy, the speeding rock through space. Come on, the dynamic duo of this entire sci-fi universe. What are we thinking here, people?
I'm liking the idea, or like she was assigned as a cadet to back up Jupiter Jack on a mission, and they get struck with this ray, and their natural powers send them in two different directions with their abilities. And I'm wondering if, I'm starting to wonder with the rocky aspect of her outfit, should she be able to almost completely transform into a meteor when she gets small enough? Just become like rock on the outside when she's small enough.
The more she grows, the less for the rocky exterior, but the more she shrinks, the more she just becomes like a baseball-sized meteor just shooting through space.
And she'd be more armored the smaller she gets, and more exposed the bigger she gets. But then she's also bigger and could stomp on you. But but then the smaller she gets and the faster she gets, and I'm loving the idea.
And the best part is we get to touch more onto these characters for the next couple episodes.
Yeah, we get to keep building in this world, and this is absolutely the kind of goofy world that Space Ape would be in, and the kind of people that he would cross paths with in his mission. Which just this makes me so happy. This makes me so happy.
I mean, come on. It's not every day you get to actually. I think this was by far one of the best things we could do for our show, was actually allowing ourselves to fully dive into a whole aspect of a universe. Because first season, there were so many characters that we've drawn. Again, we only drew about 12 characters, but 12, 11. For me, it was 12 because, well, it was more than 12, I would say, because I ended up drawing one or two other characters outside of this. But the fact that we ended up coming up with so many cool characters, they came up with their own fantasy. These characters developed their own worlds based off the powers we rolled. Guys, you know how crazy that is? Some of these, for me, the one that really hit me the hardest in terms of the one that could be its own franchise, the Primal Empire. The first episode of Roll for Hero, when we had to create fantasy elemental heroes. And I basically rolled up Avatar, The Last Airbender meets, Aztec-style luchadors using, tapping into ancient animal powers to control the elements. That is in itself a full-blown potential franchise and then some. And I would have loved to expand on that world, but we had to draw all the characters, which still allowed us amazing creativity. I would say we actually had more ties to creating cyberpunk characters, because we ended up doing more cyberpunk related characters, our take on the American Eagle. You had your Medusa character. We had the Birds of a Feather. There were so many characters that existed in that cyberpunk universe. We had the steampunk universe, with Shelbyville, Featherwind, and Todd, Ivan, and so on and so forth. So those had so much potential, but we can't tap into those just yet. So that's why I love this idea for season 2, that we're going to be diving straight into the realms of sci-fi, and we're going to dive into creating the fun villains, the monsters, potential vehicles, and everything else in between. But other than that, let's actually see what we got going on in terms of like, actual whatchamacallits. Hold on, let me actually get onto the pseudo. Let me actually just show off the character design because you already kind of got yours there. No, that's ragtags. Boom. There we go. We got Jupiter Jack right over here. What's it called? Boom. What's it called? Imagine having a villain who looks human but is from another planet. Okay, Kryptonian style. We like it. We're here for it. No, there's a lot more. Should be okay. So I had a recent.
Oh, there's so many comments.
So many comments. Had recently designed an alien mutant character like X-Men's mutant, and I started working with portals and called Red Space because he's red and manipulates the space between objects and locations. Okay, so it feels like Nightcrawler but done differently. Imagine having a villain who looks human but is from another planet, Kryptonian style. Then if we do villains, I want to make my hero say, "Does mother know you wear her drapes?" Yes, that would be hilarious. I'm on fire. When I was saying, oh, y'all are on fire, everybody. 1960s sci-fi design punk. That's basically what we kind of did today. 1960s science fiction plus diesel punk. Again, the way that I kind of phrased it, I feel like Jupiter Jack, Meteor Mandy, I feel like these are characters that would be like a TV show that would show off in the diesel punk universe. But trying to combine both of those is still interesting to an extent. Since I'm older than you, it's I. It's kind of funny. The villain can be the Claw from Public Domain. That could be an interesting one.
I did like an interdimensional Cthulhu type take on him that came out freaking epic. It is so cool.
Ooh, that would be awesome to check out. Now I'm upset I don't do a 1960s style. I mean, Commander Comic, you can always do that. You just got to really find the time to just dive into it, And there's nothing stopping you from, making awesome art, and coming up with these awesome ideas. You kidding me? Cryptically okay with it. Imagine a villain that looks like an alien Wendigo. Oof. That would be horrendous, especially because I remember a D&D character of mine. I played this elf paladin in a horror, fantasy setting, and at the time, my brother wasn't really happy about me playing D&D. So I told him, just kill off my character. I'm not going to play for a while, and he ended up making this evil Wendigo grab my character and just, Attack on Titan just chomp down on him to kill him. I'm like, I wanted to play that elf character so bad. We have Jane Storm. Don't know what for, but that does sound like a really dope name, and we're here for it. Great ideas made from our favorite uncles. I mean, listen, we can only do so much. Y'all really shot out some of the better ideas out here.
Some great ideas. That's always where some of the best stuff comes from.
I mean, again,
is from these.
Fish just literally had to switch up his entire design because of the name Meteor Mandy. Y'all just shot that out there, and now it's here.
It absolutely was a winner, and makes the two of them work together so much better, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Jack is a jumping jack. Love that. So Ego and Ego Galactic, giant meteor body, kind of like an Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just a giant planet.
Mm-hmm.
Space Ape, Void Droid, and the Blip, a wacky space ghost team taking form. I don't know who the Blip is, but that does look interesting. That does sound interesting. Season 3, Steampunk Universe expansion. Oh, listen, the temptation.
I'm thinking that's one of the things we need to do one season is let them vote on which one we go back for and flesh out that world more. Whichever one that be, whether it, be Birds of a Feather or it be the steampunk or, whatever, whichever one they want to really see us go back and dive into would be the one that we do. I think
for season 3. Oh my Lord. And we already have enough cyberpunk characters. We have enough steampunk characters, all that kind of stuff to more or less fit that whole universe. Oh man, these are such great ideas. Was it Uncle E's The Flock? Interesting. I'm kind of lost on that part there. Imagine the role for
heroes are trapped in a battle arena and forced to fight. Now there there's your short story right there.
That there is
You
a
know,
simple
like
getting to show off
Battle
characters do
Nexus
cool things.
battle royale between all these characters that get sucked from all their different worlds and put up against each other. That would be a story right there.
Oh yeah,
That would be a fun story to get to do as like a Kickstarter and like have a tier where people could
vote in.
buy in and get their character put in the story and, like weave them in as people that you have to fight and stuff. That would be a really fun way to give folks an opportunity to get to see their character on the page and have some real interaction and some real stakes in a story rather than just, hey, I'm a cameo in the background, look at me. But like,
Like actually
actually get
gives
to be in
them
a
a
4-page
proper,
battle or something.
yeah, like giving them a proper reason to be, not just a funny little cameo. Listen, we love our cameos, we love them dearly. Stanley knew what he was
Jordan
doing.
says we should go back to expand on Radiant Night and Feast for a season. Whoa.
Ooh,
A whole season fleshing out Feast would be, I don't know. That could be wild. That could be fun though. I don't know. He grosses me out, but I like him too at the same time. I'm trying to think. I think I need to do a crossover cover too if I'm gonna do a cover. Like,
yeah, because I think I did the crossover. Yeah, I think I might be the only one who's done the crossover with the Birds of a Feather.
Oh, he's saying Birds of a Feather, aka the Flock.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what he was
okay, but then you pair that with the
the
American
flock.
Eagle. You do the Birds of a Feather type situation. You call them the Flock. All right, no, that's it. That's it. We have our franchise right there. Thank you for giving me free money. But honestly, guys, these are fantastic ideas. Oh, I would love to expand on this. All right, Birds of a Feather, aka the Flock. Love that. Well, in a way, you're already expanding the Radiant Night world. You're not wrong, but I also feel like Radiant Night was. Honestly, I was really thinking a bit too hard because Radiant Night and Feast, those were, so I rolled up the stats or the origin for the concept in general, and Mr. Fish took it to a very different direction. As to me, the eating
I went very different.
Oh, very different. For me, the eating portion was actually the personality type. It wasn't really the power type. But that's where Mr. Fish took that concept and it's like, oh, I'm gonna take this over here. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna take a hard left turn here.
And he just went to town and then some. So I mean, can't blame him for that because I would have done the same thing. Perfect. Oh, look at that. That is a title if I've ever seen any. Look at that. Tell me that wouldn't be like a killer title for, oh my Lord. This is a title. This is a title that needs to be a thing. I feel like this is something my dad would have watched growing up. Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath. Have the classic trumpets playing and whatnot. Oh, what you got sketching over there? It's like, all right, let me see. Well, you also forgot that Pigeon Forge here. Oh, that's right, Pigeon Forge. Again, that's just That's just the whole bird theme universe at this point. Just given the crazy insanity we got going on over there, like Bloodsport, probably, especially if we were putting them all in a battle arena, making them fight to the death. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it, man. This is awesome. Best way to start season 2, man. I was so excited for this season to come up, man.
I was telling my wife, she's like, wait a minute, do y'all have a show this week? I thought Esteban was gonna be busy for 2 weeks. And I was like, he was. That was the last 2 weeks. And she's like, oh. And I was like, no, babe, I've been talking to him all day. Like, you should see how excited he is about this. It brings me joy to see how excited you get about it and how much fun you're having with it. And that makes this so much fun for me because,
I sound like
It's just
I'm not
it's
gonna
fun
lie.
when
I
you're
feel
having
like I
fun
sound
with
like a
friends.
5-year-old every time. Like I can't wait till we go play Wolf for Hero, and then we get to draw the fun characters, and then we get to, like that's what I feel like I sound like that a lot because I love this show. I love this show so stinking much. Like again, like I don't think y'all understand. Like y'all here really don't understand. When I say I love Wednesdays, I don't just put on like sure I put on a facade. Like real talk, I put on a whole thing trying to grab your attention. That's what we do here for live streams. You got to try to snag as much as you can. But outside of that, though, I wholeheartedly enjoy the show. I get to sit here drawing a full blown character that I don't even know what the results are going to be. I know nothing. None of this is scripted. It's what I love about this show. You think I was planning on drawing
Mhm.
bird sisters from another planet and getting powers of light and darkness? Absolutely not. You think I was going to draw a steampunk alien? Absolutely not. You think I'm going to draw a 1960s style superhero? Absolutely not. It just happens. That's what I love
Yeah,
about this show.
that's
It
what
just
makes the whole thing so fun.
it makes it a blast
Is
and a half.
no idea what wild left turn it's going to take.
That's why I love this show so stinking much. There we go. Maybe we can probably put. Let me see. Ooh, that could be pretty. Who knows? Let me see. Boom, boom. Okay, that's a pretty good color to start off with. Maybe get. Maybe I should have put. Now that I think about it, I think I unnecessarily put 2 J's here when I could have just done one.
You probably could have.
Yeah.
Come think of it.
Could have done just one. Live and learn. Live and learn. Yeah, I could have honestly just done it with one. Oh my lord. It is until now. Probably gonna have to fix that a little after the stream or something like that. But man, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this. It's always a stretch because we don't know where the ideas are going to go, what we're going to end up with. And like sometimes we could get, like you said, the same basic role and come up with something so wildly different. And that's what makes it so fun. Let's see. Did we
hold on. So we got sounds like a cheesy superhero series. Oh, hold on. Birds of a Feather could be the Blue Angels, like the Jets. All right. And then you have, it sounds like a cheesy superhero series. Of course it would be. It would be a blast and a half and then some. Contest of Champions or live DS. Or Contest of Champions or like DC Comics KO Slaughterfest. Okay.
Slaughterfest. Yeah, okay.
I feel like a
I feel like a girl do talk about ideas.
That's just how it is, man. Hey, my girlfriend comes here from Africa. Should I plan ahead when she comes? Hey, bro, we just cracking jokes.
You should always plan ahead when it comes to your girlfriends.
Oh, obviously.
That's just a.
Plus, being given weird ideas from the audience. Oh, yeah. On top of the stuff that we roll, like again, prime example, Meteor Mandy. The fact that, Mr. Fish just switched up the character, like, I'm not like 90 degrees, not 180, but 90 degrees, and just gave it that proper overall aesthetic. Boom. Already came with a fun, fantastic character. Like, this is fantastic. Great way to begin season 1 of Roll for Hero. I can't wait to see what other characters we end up creating in this full-blown like universe. So it's like that. Okay, you know what? I like this title, but now I'm gonna see if I can. I live and I learn. I live and I learn.
Well, I learned an expensive lesson this time around. Speaking of learning, and that's the whole thing this started from, was trying to share information and help people out. Darn, I don't have it right there because I shipped that one to Singapore. Hold on one second.
This is true. This entire thing started off with Mr. Fish's stream that he did called School of Fish, in which basically we was just doing some education.
These are my custom deluxe boxes that I do for the customers that buy like a lot of books or buy the whole library, or like if you were getting like all the back issues of Alice Lost in Wonderland and the mini comics and a t-shirt and the posters and all that stuff, then it comes in this box so it can hold more than the regular Gemini mailers. And inside, I make, it's not in this one, uh, but I made a custom cardboard insert that goes in here, so it leaves a pocket right here where I can stick the posters and stuff underneath that pocket, so they're protected as it's shipping around. And then the books fit neatly over here. I have stickers and stuff I put inside, so it's like, oh, welcome to Wonderland. I make a whole thing out of it. And this is a big roomy box. I can fit like 20 books in here and ship it out, and it'll be pretty tight, but I can do it. I'm getting to where my whole library is not going to fit in here pretty soon. I'm going to have to go to bigger boxes. But I thought this time around, I made a big spreadsheet of all my previous campaigns, and I realized looking at the spreadsheet that I was losing a lot of money on those higher tier campaigns that have all of the books and all of the swag and the hoodies and the hats and the t-shirts and all the extra stuff that I wasn't doing, because I've pretty much just been doing t-shirts, a poster, and the books, and that was it. And so I was upgrading to new boxes, so I figured I'm going to add some more stuff in this last campaign. So I added in hats, which came out cool. I added in hoodies, which came out really cool. I've got one in the other room. It's got my logo down the sleeves and on the back. It looks real sharp. I added all this extra stuff in. I had big tiers that have the whole library and everything in it, and all these posters and figures, the whole 9 yards. It's great. And that top tier that had all the crap in it for like $285 or whatever was the first one that went. And when I launched the book, very first one that went that first day. Great. You know, you got some of those people that just always show up for you and back and support you. It's amazing.
I cannot hear you in the slightest. At some point, you cut off. So you were just kind of saying a whole lot of stuff, and I could not hear you. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that, everyone. I don't know if it was the only thing. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Don't know what happened there. Fiance was just calling me. So sorry about that, everyone. Can y'all hear me? Am I eligible to be heard? Thumbs up. Say that you can in the chat there. Sorry about that, everyone. All right, can't hear me. Ooh, that's no bueno. Oh, that's not good. All right, so something happened on my side of things, and I don't know what it is. All right, let me. Whatever happened is happening on. Nope, never mind. All right. So I guess it must be a suggested thing then, or it's like some people can, some people can't. It's happening on my end. Hop back on. I'll get out and come back in. Oh, so sorry, everybody. All right, then hold on a second. There we go. Sounds like Mr. Fish just hopped on, right? Am I going crazy?
How's this?
Potentially, maybe. Who knows?
Can you hear me now?
All right.
La la la.
All righty, we're back in action.
Okay, good.
Thank God.
Good deal.
There was a whole thing that you were saying, and I'm like, dang it, I can't hear you. And then the fiance calls, and I'm like, great, love that.
Well, what I was saying is I invested all this in I brought in all the hoodies and the t-shirts and the hats and all this stuff, and the nice fancy boxes that I have with all the cool stuff built for the insides will fit like a couple of books and the hoodie, or a couple of books and the hat. It would not fit the whole library, the hoodies, the t-shirt, the hat, the whole 9 yards. So I had to put the shirt and all the books and everything in the fancy box. And then I had to reclaim some Amazon boxes to ship out to several backers to put their hoodies and hats in, so that they got everything in, in good condition. And it cost me about $30 per backer at those tiers to ship out the extra stuff to them. So it was a very expensive lesson to learn, but I am a believer that sometimes God makes those lessons very expensive so we don't forget them. So we're always reminded next time it comes around, let's think twice about this. And making sure everything fits in the box is an important thing. And I remember when I set the tiers up originally, I was like, I need to get bigger boxes to make sure I fit everything. Somewhere between there and the end of the campaign, I forgot about that mental note that I didn't write down anywhere. So I was like, yeah, I figured it out. It'll fit. It does not fit. I lost some good money on that. But, you live and you learn. I will not be making that mistake again. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah. And
so there you go. Unfortunately, that wasn't all in one nice, easy piece to digest, but I got it out there eventually. Let's see.
As we do. Alrighty. So sorry, everybody, for that strange minor inconvenience. Don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, I don't know. And a couple of people could hear me, and you couldn't, and then other people couldn't hear me. So that's weird. I have had problems when I use my old cell phone as a camera. Occasionally, it will just glitch and just we're not cameraing anymore. Times ran out, and it seems to be kind of random. I thought it was at the 1 hour mark, but other times it's not. So I don't know what's going on there. Could you send me the full image of your guy so I can make sure I'm getting the details on the costume right?
Oh yeah, it's a really simple costume, so you ain't gonna be missing much. There you go. That's not the one. There we go. All right, this is looking a lot better. The 2 letter J's was a little pointless now that I thought about it, because I'm like, that J wasn't connecting to anything. This one actually feels like it's connecting to something. And we can actually, there we go. Oh, that feels more accomplishing to look at. There we go. Yes. Perfect. Got ourselves a wiener. It's simple, it's to the point, and we love it.
Oh yeah, I'm liking that.
Wondering maybe if I should try something.
Imagine Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy became a couple and started a family. That rhymes. Jupiter Jack and Meteor Mandy settled down and started a family.
Love that is hysterical. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. All right, now we actually get to. Oh, that's perfect. So glad to do that. All right, we're gonna copy that. We can actually put that on the cover for. There we go. Boom. There's a lot of roll for here stuff I pre-made here. As cool as that looked, we're now gonna do this. I think that's just the color layer that I just had. It wasn't even the line art layer. I just did a black layer and then boom, that was it. There we go. Oh, look at that. That screams like Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath. Gotta love that classic, little space whistle at the end of it all.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have a theremin, or how else would they know it's sci-fi?
Exactly. Maybe I can actually ditch the little.
They don't have violins in the future? Heavens to
That's
Betsy.
just preposterous.
Mankind has evolved past the need for such violence. Evolved past the need for stringed instruments. For once, mankind had to stumble and crawl through stringed and wind instruments, but eventually it all became electronic techno. And we learned to run and fly.
I feel like there's something else I could add here, but I think that should suffice for now.
Probably do like they have a little girl named Luna, and they call her their little moon. A little baby just circling them.
Just you just see Jupiter Jack just having a mug, and it's like, honey, have you seen Luna? She's orbiting around me. I love the Thurman in retro space / alien media. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, right. Other than that, though, I think I'm more or less set because at this point, we're just gonna be dragging on, actually drawing the cover and whatnot of our characters. And this stream, of course, has officially reached 3 hours.
Of course, it did.
Gotta enjoy the 3-hour session of Roll for Hero. The show that only happens once a week at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. Luna has a little Jetsons jetpack. Jupiter Jack, Meteor Mandy, the Cosmic Family. That would be like
the nuclear family. They're the Cosmic Family.
Oh, even better. Actually, funnily enough, I actually made a superhero family similar to the Incredibles, but I actually called them the Nuclear Family. And the father would be like Atom Bomb, and then he would have his son Atom Bomb Jr. And they're actually all like radiation based and whatnot. And they're like the classic 1950s style superhero. They all wear green with the little hazmat symbol and whatnot. The funnier concept that I had in mind for it though was like, or not a funny concept, but like if I took that idea, I was gonna take it to a darker side to where it's like it turns out they're an actual nuclear family that lives like in a former bomb site that looks like a suburban neighborhood, and they just kind of live there because of their radiation or something like that.
That would be cool. Like that's where they got struck in that test town with all the mannequins and empty buildings in it, and they just stay there.
It's like, this is our home now.
Yeah.
Then we also have, imagine Luna was more powerful than these two. I mean, usually when you have two powerful people together, when you got two powerful parents, you're going to have some powerful action-packed children there. And then it's like, what about Nebula Nick? Got, man, we already coming up with the generations here. You got Jupiter Jack, the Galactic Goliath. You got, Meteor Mandy. Then you got Luna, the Moon Girl, public domain character, which we could tap into if we wanted to. And then we have Nebula Nick. We got the Cosmic Family and then some over here. And they're like a fun space family that travels around fighting off evil oppressors from around the galaxy.
What now, Junior, you can't take on evil till you finish your homework.
Oh, Dad, I really wanted to punch Warlord McGuinea Fig in the face. It's like, I know, son.
God. I just realized if this was really done in like the 50s, there would be that like little bit of systemic racism put in everything. Like, oh, Dad, I want to punch the space engines or whatever. Like, there'd be just a little bit of ugliness in there all the time. Luckily, we don't live there, but God, man, kind of ruins some of the nostalgic stuff when you go back and look at it. Like, oh yeah, that was like, I got all excited when they started re-airing the Dick Tracy cartoons from back in the day. And I was like, oh, that's going to be so fun. Oh no, I mean, Dick Tracy's barely even in them. He's just like in the end tag. But like one of the main characters is this extremely racist Japanese caricature dude that, is like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But you need a superpowered babysitter. So absolutely.
So what's the next them? Is it villain, hero, anti-hero, or anti-villain? It's like, geez, you need a superpowered babysitter.
I think villain needs to come next.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we already developed two perfectly fine cosmic heroes over here. We need to go villains next. We need to figure out who's the villain that created the thing that gave our heroes powers. Because again, our heroes got their powers from a villain. So
yeah, we need to know where that came from. And yeah. Either we develop two different villains and figure out which one of them did it, or one of us can create a villain and the other can create like a henchman or something, or like there's any number of things we can do. Y'all ponder on that for a week and we'll come back to it and see where we all end up on what idea we want to do with that, because there's a lot of ways we could do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I really want a poster of this Jupiter Jack thing. Like, I actually want this to be like a proper, like a movie poster, like something that you would see back in, I know it's kind of weird when you're saying, but like seen in the 70s or whatnot. It's like the Jupiter Jack, but like I can see this more as a proper spacefaring adventure with this, little ray gun and whatnot. Probably it's like his origin movie, and then later on he gets the cosmic powers and whatnot. I was also trying to do the Kirby crackle on the, him doing his little power cosmic looking thing. The big bag and his henchmen. I think they were just touching on the idea of like what we should do next session. That's not a bad idea. Like maybe we'll take turns rolling each part of it. Like, oh, we roll like you roll one part, I roll the other, and that's the full blown villain. And then from there, given how your villain looks, I'm going to try to dictate, like what the henchmen look like. It's kind of like when you look at Power Ranger villains, like there's the head honcho, and then you got to look at like what the minions look like to kind of follow up on that, Sometimes they work together, sometimes they're vastly different. For every Rita Repulsa, you have the putties, and then for every Lord Dragon, you had the was that the right one? It's the Power Ranger Samurai one where they had like the Japanese hell rendition of those monsters and whatnot. Oh, that's gonna be a blast and a half. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, this was a ton of fun. Best way to start season 2. I can't believe I can officially say that I am part of a show that I do once a week, and we're on a second season of it.
Which admittedly, it's a short season. It's not like we did, like 52 episodes.
Oh, trust
But
me, and I had to keep it at 12 because I feel like that's a good, concise amount of episodes for, especially given the length of what we got going on here. We're already reaching 3 hours 10 minutes right now, so I think that's more than enough compensation. Because imagine if we did 56 episodes worth of this stuff, and it's like, oh my god, they're just talking nonstop. Yeah, of course we're not stopping the yapping and the talking and
gotta be
words.
like 300 hours per season.
Exactly. So we don't need any of that right now. 12 episodes is proper enough. Plus, it fits the overall amount of the letters of our show. ROLL, the number 4, and then HERO. It works. It just works.
Captain
Was
Numerology says so.
Was I just doing it because I think the numbering system it just worked out well? Absolutely. Totally.
There's
But it
12
worked.
months to put on a commemorative calendar. There's all kinds of stuff we could do with it. So
Exactly.
works out.
It works. It just works. Well, other than that, Mr. Fish, I believe we have extended our time not even extended our time. This is just our usual time. But other than that, everybody, I hope you all enjoyed. This is, of course, season 2, episode 1 of Roll for Hero. I am so glad y'all were here. I'm so glad you're all able to chuck out some awesome ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to explore more into this amazing sci-fi universe and getting to see the villains, the heroes, and the other people in between. So I believe it is a really good time for us to end our fantastically whimsical Wednesday session here. So, Mr. Fish, any final words you want to end our little first episode here on?
No, check us out on social media. Everything is linked in the bio. I'm Mr. Fish Comics everywhere. And go to gomrfish.com and sign up for the pre-launch page for Alice issue 4, which will be going live in February. So go check that out. Give it a back. The more backers we can get on there, the more free stuff I'm going to unlock for all the backers. So
not only that, but if you go support now, you guys can actually get not just these amazing covers, these amazing comic books right here, but of course, unlocking, issue number 4 and the potential of getting all of it in a whole trade paperback, right? I'm assuming that's your biggest endeavor there.
Oh, so, yeah, that's what we're headed for.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a 6-issue arc for the first trade paperback.
So, guys, please go for it so that Mr. Fish can just make this his whole thing. Obviously, I got some other ideas, other forms of content. I have been so lacking in content in terms of actually making videos on YouTube, just because, again, a lot of major things happening in my life. But at some point, I will.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, you've been busy.
Oh yeah. So hopefully, by the time, hopefully I'll be able to get myself a little bit more situated. But not only that, but actually getting more proper videos out there, touching on public domain stuff, touching on actually talking about my original stuff. I know I talk a lot about that every time we do streams. It's also another reason why I love it is because I actually get to create content for not just my channel, but also just in general, and also being able to interact with you guys. But yeah, outside of that, though, we're going to be signing off. So everyone here, make sure to follow these 3 simple rules. Make sure to stay awesome, stay weird, and of course, to keep life to the easiest. Always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. Your uncles love you, and y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. Till next time.
Roll for Hero!
And even if you were to have a prompt of 10 different things, right? Say if you had one prompt of here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, a 1 in 10 chance, but it's it shows that there's
There's always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no